足跡をたどってきた音ゴール見えない迷路雨に打たれた地図都会の何もないけど叫んだ声をきっと届くからこの物語の始まる鐘の音がつなぐ旅の途中で君が描いた未来の世界はいつかの空に導かれて二つも終わりを一緒に進んだ私にして奇跡をもっと超えて君が描いた未来の世界を今どこかで生き続けてどれ目重ねて偽ることがダイヤの光を Oh, it's beautiful my way You guys do not notice that we are gifted just for being humans. We are absolute predators. We do not even have any enemies. Maybe there's an animal watching us and thinking that someday we will bring them down. But we can bury our fingers with our arms right through our sleeves, cause that we are at now down human beings, many small as they were born with the faith of dying for someone. A human baby when we'll divide out that at a point they were born. Got some more. I keep calling at you, yeah. 隣の君が声かける心僕ら急いでるきらめく空
Now it's only a dream, a single wish, but it's in these hands that take aim and miss. Fight it, but I can't wake up. I was given a vision of the end, but it's here in these hands that cannot mend. And memory will haunt me for all eternity. How can I destroy my weakness? 'Cause I wanna be stronger. I need to keep them all safe, but I lack the power. If we learn to wield our flaws, then the future will be ours. Brave, shine. If you need a hand to hold and stay the night, on the darkest of my days, you saved my life. Far beyond the razor edge of your blade, there lies a prayer that will surpass. A dream I know will last throughout time. Your brave shine. Given to that ungodly night, what good is a star that has lost its light? I watch as they fade one by one. We are on the same road, both you and I. Like two planets, we are bound to collide, and we can see or break free beyond our destiny. I've fallen victim to my weakness and my haste to be stronger. I somehow lost it all in my hope and spent for power. Time will leave me, I don't mind. It can leave us both behind. Break down. always in my way. If we learn to wield our flaws, then the future will be ours, and we can relight the stars. Brave night, if you need a hand to hold and stay the night. On the darkest of my days, you saved my life. Far beyond those endless nights, heartache lies a prayer that will surface. A dream I know will last throughout time. My brave
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday night, and you know what that means. It's Ascension Esports' Elder League coming to you live from Doctor and Lovedie. How you doing tonight, Lovedie?
I'm doing pretty good, and I'm looking forward to seeing some high-quality games today.
High quality as always, and they're jumping right into these picks and bans already. We got Zillion off the board, we got Zach off the board. Zillion's a little confusing to me, though.
Well, we're going to have to see how exactly that fits into their overall game plan. Today's matchup is going to be Squids Wards versus Sparks Plugs, for those who are unaware.
And I thought about it for a second, and I actually just realized that Corin the Cat is the mid laner for Squids Wards, which is why we have that Zillion ban, because Corin is a dirty Zillion picker.
Dirty Zillion picker completely negates any kind of all-ins coming in from the mid lane. So we see that with that banned away, maybe we're going to have some aggressive mid lane trading going on, perhaps. Zach's been banned away despite the nerfs, still pretty standard ban. Don't really want to give the enemy jungler all that playmaking ability, especially with the potential first pick it might bring. Ari's been banned away as well. Pretty safe mid lane pick. Right after Echo, considered one of the safest right now, especially in the 1v1. So with that off the board, going to most likely see some Syndra dominance if she still manages to get through the pick and ban. Considered one of the strongest lane dominant junglers right now, or lane dominant mid laners.
So I don't think we're going to have a super interactive mid lane. Corrin does have a couple other picks that are pretty non-interactive that really control the lane and make you do what they want you to do. So we're probably still going to see something sneaky, especially with so many teams this week having to throw in some E-subs. Lots of teams are missing bans. And so we can even see here the Lee Sin gets picked up, which is pretty powerful in the mid lane. Not the mid lane. In the jungle role.
Well, it could be if you're Froggen.
Froggen, Faker, Keen, I think, was another big one.
Yeah, of course, Lee Sin being locked in, especially with that Zac being banned away. Lee Sin can really dictate the early game. Very aggressive jungler, a lot of playmaking ability, really a staple of the jungle matchup. And we can see that Gragas has been locked in return. Could potentially be the counter pick for the Lee Sin. It does have the body slam to kind of cancel out any resonating strikes that might be coming out from the Lee Sin. And we see that Ashe has been locked in as well. Gragas could, of course, also be flexed into the top lane. Not the worst blind pick in the world, so we're really going to have to see how that develops in this draft. With
Ashe is interesting because the Caitlyn's banned away, right? But aren't there so many more high-quality picks? Like, if I'm any AD carry right now and Caitlyn's banned away, I'm picking Tristana.
I mean, we have seen Tristana get a little bit more popular in the last couple weeks in competitive specifically. We haven't really seen it in the games we've been casting, but what it does excel in, of course, is the fast pushing in the lanes and also some really decent team fighting with the way the resets work and the scaling up, especially with that huge attack speed buff. I believe one of the biggest attack speed buffs you can really attain in this game. Tristana is definitely one of the more preferred hyper scaling champions that doesn't have the really the problems that maybe a Kog'Maw or a Jinx might have with the lack of mobility. But at the same time, it's risky to blind pick that because it's still not the strongest blind pick. So picking up the Ashe, it's safe. You have the playmaking ability. You have the volley to still kind of safely farm waves you might be zoned off of. And of course, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow provides a lot of wiggle room on how you want to initiate those team fights. We see that Lux has been blind picked in the mid lane for Coder Chick, unless we're going full solo queue with a Lux support. I'm going to assume not. And Jhin being locked in as well. Jin's another one of those champions. He's kind of fallen a little bit out of favor in the meta. You see him picked up once in a while. If anything, more to really just test where he currently is on the scale of strength. But he does have the potential to definitely be a sort of lane bully.
Yeah, the Jhin is super interesting to me because, you know, we have the Zeal meta right now where you go static into rapid fire cannon, but that's not typically a Jhin build, so it seemed super interesting to see him pop back into the meta. You know, we're seeing him almost every game competitively. He's like becoming the new Ashe, but he doesn't really go the same build path, which is super bizarre. But Ashe is a very strong soft counter if you can land that Enchanted Crystal Arrow as a denial on the curtain call, which is super fun to watch. But it's an interesting lane as well.
So something interesting to note is how they decided to do their bans. They have Raven's Man, I believe Amazing Wing Wang, and Ouchies all being subs coming in last minute. So they do lose out on 3 bans, but the way they decided to kind of space out those bans, they wanted to use one in the initial pick. They wanted to get rid of that Zillion right away from Corrin. But they decided to delay their secondary ban until the second phase so they could ban away the Orianna, another mid lane matchup. After they decide they want to go with the Lux in this composition, they don't want to maybe have that very specific 1v1 matchup in the mid lane. Some other things to point out is with that Fiora being locked in as well, we know for sure that's going to be a Gragas in the jungle. Well, maybe I'm speaking a little too soon. We could always go full CLG and have the Fiora in the mid lane, but we're going to assume that's not going to be happening.
Well, before the Zyra lock-in, we could have thought it was maybe a Gragas support as well, which is crazy strong and would make Jin's life just absolutely horrible. But with the Zyra lock-in,
a little more standard. The Ashe Zyra, a staple for multiple seasons now. Lots of CC in that lane and a lot of pick potential that the team can take advantage of. Fiora is going to love all that CC to complement her mobility. Going to really be able to get into the back line in these team fights. Jhin and Lux not exactly known for their mobility as well, but we see that there's been a little bit of a challenge, the gauntlet being thrown down. Ouchies wants to go for this 1v1 duelist matchup, Fiora versus Camille. Very volatile matchup, by the way. A lot of damage and not a lot of tankiness.
Camille recently received some buffs in 7.13, so I believe it was damage increase on her Q and mana reduction somewhere. I'm having trouble remembering exactly where, but we're seeing a lot more Camille, even on patch 7.12 competitively, and it's not exactly into this Fiora pick because Fiora's most recent changes make her a very AD heavy champion. So if you actually land that Hextech ultimatum on the Fiora, she's just gonna throw down that Grand Duelist and then just duel you. She actually doesn't care about being trapped in the pit because you're trapped in there with her.
And that's important to note also, when she does manage to bring that arena down, Camille does deal extra damage to the person she targets with it. So both of these champions are going to have enhanced damage specifically in the 1v1. If there's no jungle interference, somebody's going to be dying very, very quickly. And it really comes down to split-second decisions on who that's going to be. There's not really one favorite over the other. It's really more dependent, I suppose, on the Camille landing her hook shot at the correct time, kind of juking out the riposte from Fiora. We can see that Lucian was picked last, delayed until the last moment to get that counter pick onto the Lux. Despite there being two mid lane bans this game up against Corrin, he does manage to get a very favorable matchup. Lucian mid has been considered very strong recently, one of the most lane dominant mid laners we might have ever had. And against an immobile mage like Lux, something dependent entirely on skill shots, going to be interesting to see if Corrin can really utilize that mobility you get from the Lucian to really take advantage of this one-on-one matchup.
It's going to be interesting because Light Binding is a very slow moving projectile, so it should be pretty easy to dash out of it as the Lucian and then just throw your whole kit right at the Lux. And there's not a whole lot Lux can do from that point on, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how that lane plays out. But like you were mentioning, it is a lane bully. It looks like Corrin took Ignite. I'm
going to guess that actually has been the most recent utilization of the champion, is taking the Ignite in the mid lane for extra aggression. You really have that scary kill potential because as early as level 2, level 3, you can be all-inning with your Relentless Pursuit, really trying to go in for maximum trade potential. So I do like the Ignite as well. There's not necessarily a lot you can exhaust besides maybe a Camille that's popping off a little bit. So it's definitely a different summoner spell usage than we've seen here in the league, but it's not anything uncommon to have been seen so far from the Lucian mid worldwide.
I think a pretty interesting thing here is that if you take a look at Squidward's teams, you have Fiora, Lucian, Ashe as your three major damage dealers. Yes, you're going to have the Zyra doing lots of damage and the Gragas doing some AP damage as well, but normally when you see a comp like this, you have one true tank on the enemy team that just builds armor. Straight armor, gets like 4 armor items in a row, and then you usually ignore the AP Zyra to like your last item. But right now, there's no true tank on Sparkplugs. Camille can't do it, has to build damage to deal with the Fiora. Lee Sin can't do it because then he's just going to become an ult bot even before 6. Thresh isn't a true tank, but he's going to be the closest thing they got, but he's not going to have the gold income to keep up with that.
And important to note also, he's going to be very squishy early to the mid game because he has no armor growth on his own. It all depends on the amount of souls he can manage to get throughout the laning phase, and that's going to be something we might want to keep track of during that laning phase as well, as Zyra is very dominant in this lane. Jhin, Thresh, I can imagine, are not going to have a very fun time if Zyra can land her plants and her abilities correctly. Going to be a lot of zoning coming out. He might have less armor than we might expect coming into the mid game when these rotations start happening. And we're going to see maybe this triple AD carry comp really not, or triple AD comp I should say, really not get punished too hard for it. I do expect to see tons of Ninja Tabbies come out this game though.
What about Doran's shields? Because I actually made a tweet about it earlier watching the LCS, and EU had 5 Doran shields. 5 post-nerf Doran shields. So they were the 450 model where you only get 1 potion with it, and there were 5 of them in a single game.
Well, it's going to be really important, I would say, more than other games, what the starting builds are for these matchups. If the Camille or the Fiora decide to opt into the Corrupting Potion, and their counterpart decides to opt into one of the Doran's items, they're definitely going to be at a disadvantage for a lot of the early game potential trading that might be going on. But of course, the later that goes on, they might be able to scale up. I would say Fiora would basically guarantee an advantage in lane if she decides to go for the Doran shield, because Camille's going to get affected by that a lot more than Fiora really might be. We can see that the items are getting picked up now. We see Doran's blades both for the bot lane. Doran's blades really across the board for Squidwards. Squids wards.
Squids wards. I messed everything up. 1 second.
And then we see the Doran shield's been taken by the Camille. I do like that. Didn't go for the greedier start of like the Corrupting Potion. Doran's blade would have been okay, but really Doran's shield really is your best bet. If you get hit with a little bit of the Q poke, if she tries to go for those weak spots, uh-oh.
You see some aggression early on. IR0 forced to flash away. No deadly flourish though means that no first blood is happening just yet.
That is already the flash burn though, and what I just said about the lane dominance that Zyra can have, not a lot of lane dominance you can have if you have no flash level 1 against a Thresh. Now you're going to have to be on the lookout for potential picks, maybe even a cheese level 2 gank coming to the bottom lane right after that red buff. We really don't know, but really that's just a little bit of a mistake with how the lane assignments were working out for level 1. They decided to have the Ashe face check the most volatile part of the river rather than the Lucian, who in many cases even starts E level 1 in the mid lane anyway. Winds up getting a flash burned for really barely any information at all.
And they do get, the ward on the blue buff, so they're going to be seeing Hippopotamus Prime get on that buff and start that first. So both sides are actually super clear in that they're not going for some of the super cheesy, 2-minute ganks that we've been seeing in LCS. My favorite of which we actually saw today in, it was...
Are you talking about the Elise with the
No,
Raptors
it was a Rek'Sai gank. It was...
Rek'Sai.
It was CLG versus C9, that's what it was. Where Rek'Sai, when started Raptor Camp, took all the mini Raptors, except for, and not the big one, took red buff, and then the first level of Krugs. Hit level 3 before 2 minutes, and then ganked bottom lane for first blood.
That's what the experience runes? Oh, see, you can already see that trading coming in. Like I said before,
disgusting.
The level 2 trades, that's why a lot of Lucians have been taking Ignite recently. There's just so much potential with the trading. And this is some of the issues we see with starting that hookshot level 1, trying to cheese out the Ashe and that invade. Oh, we see Lee Sin went from his red buff to the enemy red buff, just straight across, and he manages to steal that away without the enemy team even knowing.
Yeah, and that first blue ward onto the blue buff of Hippopotamus kind of fed into that, but you can also see that Lee Sin didn't touch a single other camp on the bottom side of this map. He just, took red buff and immediately ran up there.
And that entire side is going to be waiting for him when he decides to go back down.
Yeah, but now, by doing this, it's also too late for Gragas to even do anything about that. He just has to accept the fact that he lost that buff and is getting 3-buffed. Even though he's trying to get in here to maybe see what's left.
We can see this is already becoming a huge problem in the mid lane. Both the potions have already been used by the Lux. She's full HP, so at least she still has a little bit of resources to work with. But the CS deficit is already insane. That's more than 2 full creep waves of minions that she's already down, and the lane is pushing towards the Lucian anyway.
Yeah, and it's curious because most mid laners do take armor in their runes. I'm not sure if Kotichik has any, but sometimes you can kind of cheese it out and not take that armor. If you're expecting, an AP matchup, you can just take, your MR blues and replace your armor yellows with something else a bit more useful, like AP or even cooldown reduction or even anything like that. But now, you're out of mana, you don't have any health potions, you don't have any armor, and you just lose half your HP for free, basically.
Uh-oh.
But this is not good. The stun comes in, Horseman just gonna dash out. Popton's Prime is there, but unless he burns Flash, should be nowhere close enough to landing a body slam.
So they do manage to get the favorable trade. Nice riposte means that she doesn't have to burn her Flash, but that should equalize the lane a little bit. The Camille was getting bullied a little early on for having to take that E level 1. In the mid lane, we can see that deficit continue to grow, and as you pointed out, decided to do a little bit of fact checking. Lux did not opt for any armor runes, all scaling stuff. We're going to have scaling HP, a little bit of hybrid pen, but yeah, there's really nothing there that's really going to help you with the fact that Lucian is picked for this lane dominant kind of style. Opting for MR in her runes and HP per level means she just really wasn't prepared to face an AD mid laner this game.
Which isn't uncommon. I mean, Lucian is really the only true AD damage we're seeing in the mid lane. Corki's recent changes makes him a very heavy AP-sided carry in the mid lane, so you don't really have to worry about full armor as much. But we see Amazing Wing Wang making his way to the mid lane, still has his Q, does land it. First blood to Amazing Wing Wang.
So despite Lucian having so much lane dominance, he was at basically the optimal amount of HP for this gank, where he still feels confident in the 1v1, no chance of him getting solo killed, but he's still low enough to make it really easy to punish the fact he went for the ignite instead of the heal or exhaust. He winds up getting taken down because he just played a little too aggressive, and this might be the opportunity for Lux to equalize that lane a little bit, pushing the lane back in before she recalls.
She's down 20 CS. That's a little rough. But I do feel for Lux mid lanes a little bit, because it does get kind of hard to farm, because you're what's the name of her E? Lucent Singularity? Is that the E?
I believe so.
Like, it doesn't actually fully clear the backlane minions for a long time. So you can take 2 or 3 of them without auto attacks to really clear that wave. But we do see a hook shot in the top lane. Ouchiness is able to get the shield, but it doesn't quite work because it ends up on the far losing side of that trade, and that's having already gone back. Fiora's just going back now.
We can see also that all 3 lanes are currently winning. Despite the first blood going down, these are aggressive lanes. The flash was not punished whatsoever. Ashe's flash is already back up. They've been winning the lane for a while. Thresh has been constantly bouncing between a 4th and a 3rd HP for the last 2 minutes of this lane. Really, not a lot you can do when at any moment you can get all in, and we might be seeing that happening right now.
I didn't know if Thunderlords was available. Thunderlords might have been the kill there, but it does get the flash out of Ravensman, so that's one more thing that they can make work in this bottom lane, with level 6 very close, actually.
Something I want to point out as well, since we were on the topic of runes and masteries a little bit earlier, we can see that Hipoptimus Prime has opted for the Ray route of masteries and runes. He's going for the Fervor of Battle on the Gragas, most likely a mistake. Ooh, a little bit of trade. And motorcycles.
Yeah. It's supposed to, like, hurricane where I am. Why are you on a motorcycle?
Well, but yes, that is in fact a fervor of battle Gragas.
Which is... obviously,
You
Thunderlords... Obviously, Thunderlords is better. Obviously, you know, Grasp...
Oh,
Why would you back there?
okay.
Iris, please.
I mean, the fact that he flashed to begin with, knew he was expecting the hook as well. He wasn't caught window shopping or anything.
Oh, here comes the Hex Tech Ultimatum. The flash in from Coder Chick doesn't get the immediate kill, but has enough HP plus the barrier to survive that engage while picking up a kill for herself. But that's both summoners down for just
Right.
the ignite.
It seems that the idea is not necessarily to survive this lane, more as to punish the aggression by Corrin and try and get the rest of the lane assignments a little bit stronger for it. Fiora's coming down to contest this dragon.
It is too late, however, that's already gone over. They have
We got
vision.
a collapse maybe.
They have vision
Multiple
on
members,
both
level 6 on the
sides.
Zyra too.
And Chain to Crystal Arrow goes in onto Amazing. Can he get out? He cannot. The Gauntlet goes down, gets the kill. Double kill for Horseman. He's stuck over the wall. Body Slam lands onto Raven. Ultimate already been used by the Gragas. So it is a 2-for-0 going over to Squidwards. Squidswords?
Despite losing the Infernal Drake, very nice punish. I love how they managed to collapse. They realized the Fiora was down there. They came in from multiple angles. There wasn't a correct path to really run towards. And for those wondering what exactly that Gragas ulti was, it was ambitious, but the general idea was Hip Hop really thought maybe I can manage to blast these guys into the wall, keep them pinned for a moment, basically a pseudo stun.
Ooh,
We
Raven
might not be done
Smash.
yet.
You're caught, buddy. Body Slam
Why would you
over
hit
the
the plant?
wall. Now he's trying to... Hip Optimus is actually by himself. No Body Slam available. No Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Raven Smash should be able to just walk out of this. And he does.
Well, we saw that the Courage of the Colossus got procced off of that plant exploding, which means Thresh was the one who decided he wanted Gragas to come say hello.
Might have been a
Although-
misclick.
Perhaps. It might have been a misclick. I mean, Gragas is a little bit on the heavier side.
Amazing gets caught, forced to use the Dragon's Rage. Still on a ward, however. Flash in from Horseman. Can they get the damage? Oh, the light blinding into the riposte!
No.
Now he has
Flash.
double buffs, trying to keep going. Stun onto 4 Horsemen, super duper low. Might end up getting traded. Still alive, still taking
man.
kills. Double kill for Corrin the Cat. And Horseman lives!
And that was just kind of a strange situation. Lee Sin manages to get caught out in the river, burns a lot of his skills really before Fiora even starts threatening him. Once she realizes that all the peel and movement is really down, she goes for the all-in, and the collapse from the rest of the team was a little bit late. Lux whiffed a couple skill shots, actually wound up getting the Lee Sin killed with a very projected Q as well.
I mean, that was still a fantastic riposte. I mean, didn't use it on the Dragon Kick, even though that was pretty telegraphed as well. Didn't use it, or couldn't use it on the hook shot. But just the perfect series of events coming in for the Fiora. Now 3-0-2, Enchanted Crystal Arrow going on to Lux. Gets knocked up by the Stranglethorns. Flashes anyway. Still goes down to Iris, though. Now Amazing showing up. Gonna see if he can get the Resonating Strike. He cannot. Dragon's Rage isn't available, comes up just now, so there wouldn't have been any way to finish that kill off.
We can see also, looking at item builds, kind of the difference in priority. There's a Cinderhulk being built by the Gragas. He realizes, I've got 3 winning lanes, all pushing. I've got a lot of lane dominant champions that also are decently scaling up. I don't really need to be building this Runic Echoes. We've got plenty of damage. Even if we need the magic damage, we have the Zyra for it. So he's getting that Cinderhulk first. Recently buffed, or at least changed. It's not going to be as good as it was last patch currently, but the second he has even a giant spelt completed, or any real tank item after that, he's going to be even tankier than he was last patch. The changes to it, of course, increase the scaling a lot more. They do manage to get the Rift Herald as well and
So
give it over to the
that's-
top lane Fiora.
Yeah, they give it to the Fiora, which is super interesting because that means they're gonna focus this top lane and just smash this Camille as hard as possible. Because typically you would give the Rift Herald over to your jungler because then you can put it wherever you want, like wherever there's a low tower. But now huge
boy.
engage on Dakota Chick. Here comes the barrier.
That's a kill.
Gets the shield from
Oh,
Raven
that's Flash
though.
too. He's
But
dead.
now Raven is dead to rights. Double kill for Corrin once again. Now 420 blaze it on the board.
And
Now here-
eventually,
This is what I was talking about. You could have used the Rift Herald right here and you'd already be knocking on tier 2 towers.
but look at where the enemy jungler is. They're going to not only take this tower, but they're going to start pressuring topside. Lee Sin's in the wrong position right now. Thresh is gone. They don't want to 2v2 this. They could be running right into a Zyro.
Hex Tech Ultimatum coming in. Horseman doesn't even care. Trying to ignore Ouchiness, but Ouchiness is putting down tons of damage. Is going to lose the tower eventually, however. And now Rift Herald is just kind of going to fizzle out from here on out.
That's going to be a ton of gold.
Amazing, getting
oh.
caught by Corrin. Holy moly, look at that damage. Lux is now under pressure, has the fourth
this
shot
is-
primed and
they're not
ready.
even gonna TP.
Amazing goes down, double kill for Corrin, just putting on the repeat.
25 gold? What?
From what, the Rift Herald?
It's supposed to be 50. They changed that this patch.
Oh.
God. That's a kill.
That was a lot of damage. I wasn't even ready for that. I was going to let you finish your point while like they just walked away from each other. And then Ouchiness just died. So I was
That-
like,
Was very nicely played. I love the way she positioned herself as well to get the very specific vital points. She went top, then bottom, then right. Most people, they'd obviously opt for the closest vital point they can hit. But Fiora realized she could stretch a little bit and get 3 instead of 2, and that was just enough damage to chunk Camille so hard it surprised us as well as it surprised her.
yeah, and so chat's saying that it's 50 gold to the Rift Herald Rift Herald killer in the pit. So whoever claims the Rift Herald for themselves.
Really?
Amazing, finding himself has smite though, so Horseman not gonna be able to pick that up. But Dragon is live. It is a Inferno Drake. It's already going down though. Optimus says mine. Ooh, Curtain Call coming out. Gonna get blocked though. TP coming in from the Camille. Gets
Canceled.
canceled. Enchanted Crystal Arrow not gonna land. Neither is the Light Binding.
What? I just realized the mid Lucian build. That's definitely different.
We're gonna
I
have
mean,
a
we
talk
already-
about it. Horseman
Oh.
going in 1v3 is fed. Maybe not this fed. Deadly Flourish lands onto Horseman. Dragon's Rage on to the Lucian. Still chasing though. Amazing is taking so much damage. So is Lux. They're continuing. Corn the Cat should be going down here. Shutdown coming in for Amazing. Horseman should be going down as well. Throws out the riposte. Goes down anyway. 2 pickups for Amazing. And 2 shutdowns as well. And this Lucian build is horrible. There is no defense here.
Well, no, that's a big reason for why you build or why you play the mid Lucian right now is because the Blade of the Rune King Black Cleaver build doesn't really sacrifice damage, but gives you a ton of survivability and mobility. Going for the Essence Reaver into the Rapid Fire, I mean, I know that Rapid Fire and Shiv are a little bit stronger than they used to be, but this is almost a form of BM in itself, deciding to go for this lame dominant pick and then go for the scaling build anyway, basically telling all of Spark's plugs that, hey, you can't stop me from scaling. I don't need my item spikes. I can get my 3 items just fine and we can still win anyway. That's essentially what it says.
I mean, the biggest
Otherwise-
problem with that thought process is that Lucian doesn't have the best damage scalings. That's why he's not picked for those late game carries. That's why he's not Tristana. That's why he's not Caitlyn. That and the range, which definitely helps. But
It may be that because I do remember him backing his first back giving a BF sword, huge spike in damage. Of course, when you have the gold for it, it's a huge temptation to decide to go for it. The only problem is the traditional Lucian build that's been used for the last several months has not really used the BF sword until 4th item. That's just straight up dead. My goodness.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage from the culling. Even through the barrier, not able to do anything amazing. Lands the resonating strike, but with no friends, he's kind of left out to dry.
Really, though, he is taking full advantage of it. He's got more CDR than he'd have with the normal build as well. He sacrifices a little bit of movement speed without the Black Cleaver and Blade of the Rune King active, but as we can see here, his chunking potential is even stronger than the traditional Lucian. So he does manage to at least take advantage of the fact he's still managed to scale up with these items. He's managed to spike up so insanely fast with the CS lead he had, and then the multiple kills he snowballed off of, where he's not actually going to get punished for going this build. It's not the traditional build by any means, but there is a reason that the Essence Reaver Zeal item build was popular for such a long time.
Hook does land into the Light Binding, into the Lucent Singularity, into the final Spark. Not going to get the kill, barely even going to do anything. Curtain Call comes out, lands 3 bullets onto Lana, is going to get the kick flash, and Lana should be going down. Root lands onto Horseman, but once again, trapped in here with me, not with you. 2 more kills going over to the side of Squids. Wards. How much more can they get? Double Light Binding keeps them alive for now. The flash body slam is botched, but now they have a huge siege on this tower now, and they simply cannot defend. Half HP on both sides. Corrin is still landing these light bindings. Well, light binding from Lux and piercing light from Lucian. They kind of just smashed them together.
Yes. May as well smash them together like Lucian smashed this lane.
That's a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, okay. It's a little bit of an ambitious prediction. The next level Mad Life, the 4th dimension Mad Life.
So I'm curious if we're going to be seeing the Hurricane into the Ash, because we saw a couple players this morning in the LCS going with a static Shiv instead, which I found a little curious. I found it a little curious, even though like Ash's thing is like crit, but here goes down another coder, getting completely blown apart. Leona, though, might be going down herself. Does get the Stranglethorns, the Grasping Roots, excuse me, but has...
Oh, she's still going for it.
This the added move speed. Gets the flash, actually. That's pretty clutch. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to connect. Grasping Roots also going to connect. What more can they do? Flash for flash, however. We take those.
Yes, we do. Camille gets a little over aggressive. She had already burned what she wanted to from the Zyra. No reason to keep chasing. She knows that she's got no backup for it as well. She winds up getting punished for it. I think there's definitely a little bit of a mental factor building into this now. They really did get crushed early on in this game. 10,000 gold lead already. The tower difference is insane. The kill difference is insane. Those are the only real numbers they can see, and they can definitely feel that gold deficit. They realize that they're really in a big hole right now that they're going to have to try and climb their way out of.
I mean, the 2 players that they needed to not get fed, the Fiora and the Lucian, are sitting on 16 kills and 6 assists combined. So you kind of failed at that point. So it's even to a point where maybe just start writing this game off. I mean, the Fiora herself...
No, I don't know if I'd do that.
Really?
You never want to straight up write it off. Unless it's unbelievably bad odds against a comp that scales better than you. Maybe you just throw out the surrender. We've already casted 1 surrender last week. But this isn't necessarily a game you want to surrender, because there's just a lot of playmaking you can still get. And as we mentioned in Champion Select, there's not a real tank in this composition. The Gragas is tanky, yes. Oh, God, dude.
Why would you take that? In any world, why would you take that?
Alright, so what I was saying before, completely forget it. Just surrender. This game's not going to go anywhere.
Well, not only look at these CS leads. 40 CS lead on top of 7 kills in the top lane. We see the Flame Horizon in the mid lane. This is not a fight you want to take, guys. You don't win that fight. Horseman's going to turn on you, throw down the gauntlet, and kill you.
He'd rather back off. He could potentially have gone in for the 2v1. He knows that Camille's in the bottom side of the map. Got spotted out by a ward. But he doesn't want to go for it. He knows his team's doing Baron. Probably wants to retain that Baron buff for himself as well. Realizes he's gotten plenty already.
And so we actually haven't seen any impact from the Sparkplug bot lane so far. I mean, they have the Curtain Call, they have the Thresh, but the plays that Squidwards have been making around the map have been pretty away from the bot lane. Like, every time we see like a big play happening, it's like Lucian solo killing Lux or moving to the top lane, killing Camille. Or like Camille roaming down and just taking like big skirmishes between the jungle and like the other solo laners. But we've seen a couple good Enchanted Crystal arrows. But other than that, there's been a pretty low impact bot lane.
Oh, okay.
Corrin's pretty bold here. Not gonna get stunned up in a 1v3 right now. Does get
1v4.
snared up 1v4. Yeah, even with the 10 kills, it's kind of hard to combat that.
Right, he definitely got caught off guard with how many members there were specifically. But a lot of this we can also kind of...
Oh no.
okay.
Oh my
That's a two-shot.
god! Okay. But now another 1v4
They have no
against
ultimates available.
Horseman
They can't win
4.
this anyway. They literally
Throws
can't
down
win
the gauntlet, light binding comes in. There's still so much damage coming in. If she gets this proc, doesn't get the
there we go.
proc, shutdown coming in. But on the other side of the map, Ashe is pushing the base.
The riposte was mistimed a little bit. Now we've got both the solo laners getting a little silly, trying to go over aggressive in their 1v however many it's going to take.
I mean, if that riposte lands the light binding, I think that might
Or
actually
the hook,
be...
the thresh hook. It would have been a definite turnaround. He's got the death stance and the
body slam interrupts the hook shot.
Very nice.
He gets the barrel back over him. Grasping Roots is gonna land. That should be the end. Hippopotamus Prime doesn't get his second kill of the game, but he did most of the work.
Very nicely done. The disruption was nice. We can see the Lucian's back up now. Now they're actually going to try sieging. The TP's coming in with the Fiora. She wants to start pressuring. They realize they've kind of thrown away this Baron buff a little bit, and they want to get more than just that bottom tower now in return.
It's like a motorcycle gang's in my bedroom. This is ridiculous. Lee Sin goes
Oh, boy.
in. Stranglethorns goes out. Knocks up 2. Final Flare doesn't connect on any vital targets. Here comes the curtain call. Hippopotamus is just going to say, thank you for breakfast. Only 282 damage on
I'm
that
really
fourth
wondering
shot.
what the curtain call was supposed to accomplish. I mean, dude, that would have been really nice timing maybe when Lee Sin was going in, but
But
using it
now here is Horseman again in the 1v4. But the base is going down. We have Corrin already on the Nexus towers, and I think this game is over. I don't think there's anything to be done. Gets the flash kick, Corrin in the middle of the team, flashes out, dashes in, takes the kill. There's minions still on the Nexus towers. Lux is going down, Lux is going down, everybody is dead. Triple kill for Corrin the Cat. Final Flare goes out, connects on to 3, but doesn't really do anything, and they're still looking for kills. Flash in from Leona, gets the snare, gets the death, actually. I lied. Stays alive. Now they're taking Tower Fountain. Light Binding goes out. Iris is focused dead set on that Nexus. But that's a victory for Squidwards, and pretty convincing at that.
18,000 gold lead by the end of it. Well, going out of that game, I can tell you one thing. You don't want to draft 2 losing lanes blind when you really don't have to. And these weren't just losing lanes. These were, please counterpick me with whatever hardest destroys me as possible.
I mean, Camille is a very meta pick. It's something that we're going to be seeing a lot of very soon, especially once competitive swaps over to 713. It's probably going to be seeing a lot of solo queue play, but Lux is a
Remember,
comfort pick.
Camille was locked in 3rd rotation. We had Lux and Jhin both blind picked into their counter matchups. Well, actually, hold on. It was Lee Sin first picked, and then we had Gragas and then Ashe. Alright, so Jhin did pick into the Ashe. He knew what he was going up against, but then the Zyra definitely negated a lot of that. With the Karma being banned away as well, that does limit the options. Lulu, of course, to get a little bit of changes a while back. So you could still pick up the Lulu or the Nami or the Janna, but they did opt into the Thresh matchup to try and maybe reverse onto that lane, get all ins, and we can see that that didn't happen. They managed to burn the Flash level 1 against the Ashe, and they still didn't manage to take advantage of it. We didn't see Lee Sin come to the bottom lane once in the first 10 minutes of the game. Lee Sin needed to have more early impact. He had one really nice gank to try and equalize the mid lane, but other than that, no impact. He stole one red buff and had one early gank mid lane, and the rest is history. The rest of the lanes just started snowballing on their own. Gragas either kept track of the Lee Sin, or the Lee Sin just was not proactive or in the right spots at the right times. And it resulted in the game snowballing out of control because, as we said, Vault top lane and two winning lanes besides that. So as soon as Fiora started to get the edge up in that 1v1, this game was pretty much over because all Gragas had to do was make sure Lee Sin didn't influence the game. And
yeah, I mean, Fiora had a double kill pre-10 minutes. Lucian had a double kill after a double kill after a double kill after, I think, a triple kill. So, like, there's just so much damage there, and you simply cannot build defense fast enough.
Right. I really don't like specifically the blind pick Lux. I mean, Lux was meta for a little bit, but that was more into other mages.
I mean, currently Lux is a comfort pick right now, and it's a pick that can do stuff, but it's just such hard countered by that Lucian that I'm curious to see what we're gonna have going into game 2.
Right. Going to be interesting to see if they decide to opt for something a little bit more lane dominant in the draft, or if they decide to go for these blind picks again and hope they don't get punished for it.
But we are going to have to wait and see, guys. So stay tuned. We got more League of Legends coming at you. We will be right back with Game 2 between Sparks Plugs and Squids Wards hitting the Rift. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll be right back.
It's like a fire, a stranglehold. I wish I was invincible. Hello desire, you're my old friend, but I don't need you here again. Just take a walk, go back inside. I'll see you on the other side. Down below, it's coming back to take control. It's like a fire, a stranglehold. I feel like I'm a criminal, animal, typical, wake up call. I can find it, I can find it, I can find it. Sure, I'll find it. People falling into the 7 deadly sins. Samayo itsusu, kentadori tsuita.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 is hitting Champ Select between Squids Wards and Sparks Plugs, which the teams, I believe, have changed sides. Yes, they have. And there's also a team swap. Ravens swap. Ravens man is now in the top side where Ouchies used to be.
Oh boy, is that a mistake, or are they actually going for the role swap?
They actually went for the role swap. So that is a true fact.
Alright. I'm kind of wondering why they didn't do this in the first place.
I mean, when something so catastrophically fails game 1, there has to be rotations, sometimes map-wise, sometimes player-wise. So I think that's why we're seeing this, and I'm not sure if that's an actual Mordekaiser ban, or if they were just killing time.
Well, you're not supposed to do that for the placeholder.
Yeah, I know, but when was the last time somebody actually followed the rules? But it's happening, love! Zach gets picked finally!
Oh,
it's only been like 3 weeks of Elder League.
In competitive, you can get away with not always banning away the Zach. There's a lot more vision control. You have a better idea of where the jungler is. You gotta keep that banned in Elder League. You don't have the vision control you'd have from an actual formal team, and you're going to get punished so hard for just all the tools Zach has.
The problem is, like, look at their bans. It's Zillion, Fiora. We just saw what Horseman can do on that Fiora, and the other one's Corrin, who, if you give the Zillion, that actually is just right off the game. There's no coming back from giving Corrin Zillion. I think he's actually sitting on 100% win rate with Zillion across like 3 seasons. So it's just an absolute monster pick that you simply have to remove.
I mean, that's slightly exaggerated, but yeah, he's pretty insane with the Zillion.
I want our Ascension Esports stats guys to go back onto Corrin Zillion games and find out if there's actually been a Zillion loss from Corrin. Because I honestly don't think there has been.
Regardless, going to be banned away another day. And instead, we can see the Ashe Karma has been locked in. They banned Karma away last time in their second rotation of bans. This time, we're going to be seeing the Karma be picked instead. Bard has been picked pretty early on as well. A little surprising. Do want to see how Ouchies utilizes that to the fullest extent. And we see Lucian's been picked. Definitely nice. I like it a lot. So we're going all the way from blind picking Lux to picking Lucian potentially mid, or even flexing it to the bottom lane.
Let's say, so far I kind of like it bot lane because Ashe is very immobile. You have Bard. Lucian is a very crazy strong lane. If you land the Bard Q, you dash in from the Lucian, just blow up whoever you catch. Even if it is a Karma support, I still feel it's a pretty strong bottom lane engagement you have going on there.
I agree. I do think it's a little close in the 2v2, but in all ends, the Lucian Bard should definitely have a little bit more in the damage department, especially pre-6. Post-6, that changes quite a lot with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow opening up some fights. But before that, not a bad idea, and nonetheless, just picking it up at all, very nice idea for a flex pick. Lux, and then Urgot being banned away, and then Teemo and Aatrox being banned away. I'm really not liking how they're doing this. They really should just wait the extra 30 seconds for bans.
Yeah, eventually I feel that admins are going to actually step in and say something, but until that happens, as casters, I think I said this last week, we don't actually do anything, we just say words, so we're just kind of here for the ride, and I don't know. We're casters. Come on, man. What do you want from us? Well, it's like when you actually see people tweeting like Jat or like Sadokist or somebody like that.
What the hell are they doing? Are these placeholders? Okay, never mind. Alright.
But like I was saying, it's like when people tweet like Jat or Sadokist or like Henry G or somebody like that, and they're like, the audio's mangled. And then you just like sit back, they're like, they're casters, dude. They don't actually, they're not like us. We actually have to do our audio because we're just lowly amateur casters. But like when you see someone at a venue like IEM, LCS, Oh man, it's so far removed from their hands.
So, we didn't really talk about this, but Annie's been locked in. I think Last Shadow got ahead. What the hell is going on? That's a Master Yi picked for the Darius matchup, and then Annie was blind picked beforehand. Wait, Master Yi in the jungle?
Master Yi is actually
Okay.
pretty strong in the jungle. You
right.
have a couple different build paths. You can go the full damage one, which I don't think we're going to be seeing just because of how survivable this blue side is. But if we see the Blood Razor into like Titanic Hydra and that style build, Master Yi is devastating. It's going to ruin Ash's day. It's going to ruin Talia's day. It could even really ruin Darius's day. And then you started talking about the Annie. And Last Shadow, also known as LS, the current head coach for Tempo Storm, Annie is the number 1 pick for getting to like Diamond, I think he actually says, or Platinum.
Oh boy.
It is very non-mechanical. You literally just press QERW and you kill somebody. Which actually, that's too many buttons to kill somebody. And you don't even have to move. You just flash every 5 minutes and press R. Like, it's probably the easiest champion in League of Legends.
So here's some issues I have with the composition.
Oh, the composition's pretty all over the place.
It is absolutely all over the place. This is very solo queue-esque. You do have a bottom lane that can definitely win that 2v2 and can set up ganks decently as well with the Bard queue. You've got a mid lane, blind picked Annie. I can't remember the last time we've ever even seen a mid Annie, not just in competitive, but really here on Ascension Esports. This is not really something we get seen playing, especially blind pick. I want to see how he plays out this laning phase. Hopefully you've been taking notes from Annibot. I know Annibot has been going a lot of points into Q and W and literally no points in E for quite some time.
Annibot also builds triple Mejais. So take some salt with these suggestions.
Take some salt. I am taking a moderate amount of salt currently with how this draft goes, and that may increase along with my blood pressure depending on how the game goes. And then Master Yi is locked in. This I can kind of understand. It was blind pick. It was saved until the very last pick. Kind of a surprise. All right, we know what their composition is. Let's go all in for this. What it does provide, it doesn't provide any kind of real gank pressure that a normal jungler does. But what it does provide is it's going to outfarm the hell out of Zac. He wants to get items, and he's not really worried about getting 1v1 invaded either. So there's definitely the potential there to kind of outfarm and outscale this Zac in a sense and just build up items. But there's just a ton of CC and a decent amount of peel and a decent front line for this Master Yi to have to get through first. He's really got to hope that his lanes just play safe, play back, allow him to farm, maybe get some really nice counter ganks in, because Zac definitely before his level 6 is definitely an all-in kind of jungler. When he elastic slingshots in, he doesn't really have escape tools to get him out. So if he gets caught unawares, misses the elastic slingshot, and then has an alpha striking Yi coming in from the shadows, that might wind up pretty bad for him.
The issue is Zac gets so incredibly strong later on in the game that I've actually seen Zac win 1v1s against the Master Yi. And it's hard and painful to watch, but it is the current reality that we live in. So I think letting the Zac through, which unfortunately, like we said, there really wasn't anything to be done about it just because of the champion pools that, you know, this team has. It's super rough, and it's going to be a super interesting turnout, I feel, just because of like what actually has to happen in this game.
On top of that, though, the Darius was blind picked. We weren't really talking about that just because there was so much other stuff going on, but Darius blind picked. Winds up not getting punished for it at all, not getting like something ranged or a Fiora or a Camille that wants to fight him. It's into Gragas. Gragas, yes, can kind of farm safely, but with the Doran's rings being stacking being nerfed in the last patch, not the safest wave clear in the world anymore either. And Darius is going to be very happy going into that lane, because if he ever gets body slammed by the Gragas and there's no backup coming for him, he's going to go to town on that fat boy. Carve him up like a rum ham.
Like a rum ham. That is a reference to a non-family show. That it is. But we hit the rift.
If you get the reference, you're already non-family to begin with.
I am a doctor. I am as family man as it gets, good sir.
We're getting into the rift. No flashes are going to be burned level 1.
This time. Possibly. Possible. The level 1 does last for another, minute and a half.
Right? Somebody may flash in place. Master Yi may forget which button is a smite.
And by minute and a half, I probably meant 30 seconds, because the junglers both hit level 2 very quickly. The mid laners hit level 2 very quickly. So.
Ooh. Where's that going to be starting? Oh god, level 1 trade.
Oh no, he took the...
He walked in there even though he saw the barrel. It wasn't in the brush. Oh no.
Yeah, but he didn't take any real damage. Plus he has the Doran shield, which is still super strong. And I'm kind of surprised Ashe didn't start the Doran shield. I feel like it'd be crazy useful heading into Lucian.
Something I do want to mention as well. Oh god. That Gragas has Thunderlord's AP and Magic Pen. That's not a tank Gragas.
There were people on Twitter and in Twitch that were telling Bjergsen to be trying out the full AP Gragas, apparently, due to the most recent changes.
I mean, I am a full supporter of the Woody Fruity strategy of start building a little bit of AP. If it goes badly, build tank. Uh-oh, here comes the 5 stacks. That's going to be a ton of damage.
Oh, huge stun landing onto Iris. It's a fair amount of damage. It is, however, Gragas, who does have health regen passive, so I'm not too crazy concerned just yet, especially pre-6, but it's definitely something to be thinking about later on. And another huge stun from Ouchies. This bot's actually already doing...
They do win that 2v2.
This bottom lane pick is already doing much better than last time.
He didn't put a point in body slam. He put a point in his W level 2.
That's unfortunate.
What
it does have the red buff slow.
This? Oh my god.
Doesn't get the flash, but it saves some... What's the word I'm looking for? There's a whole lot of words.
Miscommunication? What?
I mean, it could be another situation where we have top laners that aren't quite used to playing the Gragas. I mean, we saw it last week.
I don't know, I'm just a little confused. Definitely maybe lack of experience with the champion, not going E level 2.
I mean,
a little bit of trading back and forth as well.
Yeah, it's very interesting. He did go for the damage reduction, which in a 1v1 is a bit more useful currently, because he's not really winning these trades. He's just taking a lot of damage for free. Whereas if you can mitigate any of that,
I mean, the easiest solution is to just not trade with the Darius in the first place.
Hey, it's a lot of work, man. You have to, I don't know, path away.
Gonna have these junglers fight.
Red buff is available. Stretching strikes lands.
Available. Oh god.
Goes back in, but it misses! A very quick ignite into not a whole lot of damage. Amazing is gonna be forced to run away soon, but this should be first blood, and it goes over to Amazing on that Master Yi. Probably the worst person to get first blood in this game if you're Squids wards.
That was very strange. He holds onto his elastic slingshot because Talia pings, she's on the way. Corrin gets there, and then he whiffs the elastic slingshot 5 feet away. And
is League in feet? I thought League was in meters or Teemos.
It's in freedom units only, preferably.
I don't know. We're gonna have to tweet Riot at that hashtag at Riot.
What the hell? He's got a 2-level lead. I know Darius backed after that first gank, but
there's a lot of
wondering
minions
how
there.
much he missed.
Well, he's actually down 12 CS, but there's about 12 CS in this wave here. So as long as he can pick up a fair number of this, he should be fine. Unfortunately, he kind of just mangled that by using the Decimate.
I mean, wait, you got to see him use the Decimate?
I panned up there.
Oh, you panned up there.
I don't always use directed camera. Just
These
90.
are the things I'm not aware of. You might be looking at something different.
Just like 90% of the time, I use directed cam. But
This
every
is
now
why
and-
we need Scoop to be our dedicated cameraman.
Except that doesn't work, because then, like, we still don't... We'd be on directed camera, but he wouldn't be.
No, it's perfect. He streams him doing the camera work, and then we cast over it 18 seconds later after the stream delay.
Oh, you mean like professionally? We
Yeah.
see a
they're
slingshot
in the bottom
miss. Master Yi's coming in with his red buff. He has the extended time Alpha
What are they
Strike.
doing?
Not gonna connect. Body. Holy moly, that's a lot of damage. Does get pulled back in. Horseman though, buddy, I don't know if you want this. That heal makes he does. Now Talia joining the fray in the bottom lane. There's just puddles of blood throughout this top lane. But Horseman has to be careful. Body Slam's
Oh,
going to be
God.
up very soon.
Yes, something happened in this top lane. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but Darius should not be this far behind the Gragas.
Stun is
straight up
available.
off
Coder
XP.
Chick has Tibbers. There it is. Forces the flash. Tibbers is chasing under the tower. Gets thrown back, but that should be a lane given up, really. Corrin shouldn't be allowed to stay here.
Oh, boy.
Amazing, though. There shouldn't be a passive available. Slowing up with that stretching strikes. Kind of looking a little funny there.
It's like a lot of these guys just pick their champions and are being completely Uh-oh. All in, maybe? Oh, he didn't go for it. That's surprising. He still got the level lead, and that would have been into a full creep wave. Ulting Darius away from tower might have been the good idea there, but decides not to opt for it instead.
Is level 6 now, so we should be getting a true 1v1 battle in the top lane now. Ultimates are available. Horseman, he's gotten that 5-stack, I think, twice now already. So I'll be curious to see if he can continue getting it. He is forced away, however.
This I don't like. I don't like the first item build we're going to be seeing from this Darius. He's building a Spectre's Cowl, which normally, traditionally, you'd think, alright, kind of want to negate that magic damage, but he should be realizing very quickly, this Gragas is not building a little bit of AP and then tank.
Although,
This
we could be,
Gragas wants
it
the
could be
damage.
Lichbane. Could be a Lichbane first item.
At the very least, Ashin is just so much damage. I follow a couple very famous AP Gragas mains, Woody Fruity and one of his friends, and they do love going for just
hold
the
up,
Sheen.
before you finish the sentence, how can two friends both be Gragas mains? Only one of them will be allowed to play at any given time.
Well, they just dodge if they both get in the game. I don't. Actually, I'm not quite sure. It's like how if Yasuo mains congregate, which one rage quits first? It's really hard to figure out.
What was that auto attack? It looked like it didn't connect. There's the bottle defensively. Horseman jumps
Oh boy.
in, gets the decimate and the head chop, but not gonna get the kill.
Very close. One more tick would have killed him, but that's now the flash burned by the Darius. He's not going to have flash now. He's building Spectre's Cowl first. But what you want to do against the AP Gragas, something that I've discovered, one of the most annoying things, not just for Gragas, but it definitely applies to him, for these AP burst kind of cheesier picks, you build a Hex Drinker first item, they don't really know what to do because they gauge their all-ins, really. Oh god, no flash and no mana.
flash, no vision though. Amazing, not using the Alpha Strike. There it is.
He kind of
Doesn't-
messed that up.
Yeah, he flashes in and now he's
alright.
dead.
When I say kinda, I mean he really messed that up.
Royally bungled it.
Yeah, he wing-wanged all over the place, and that was definitely not amazing what we just witnessed.
There could have been a bit more innuendo in the joke, but I'll take it for now. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow isn't going to land, but
I'll
the
land.
Mantra'd Inner Flame does flash forced out. Iris is crazy low. Heal
Nice
comes in,
ultimate.
so does the Tempered Fate. Huge stun! Ouchies picks up the first kill for this bot lane. They should
Very
be able to
nicely
keep
played.
going. The Inspire shield from Leona keeps her alive and out of danger. Talia's coming down, has the Weaver's Wall. We could be
Still got
seeing...
flashes.
Does have... Oh, no mana for Relentless Pursuit! But Flash is all that's needed. Ouchies, you're kind of stuck, buddy. Corrin has slain the board. Definitely worth. Oh, Flash Tibbers!
Oh, Mr. Tibbers.
But the Mantra Inspire... It landed onto Corrin. No knockup gonna come in. Oh! Punched in the back of the head by a giant itty-bitty teddy bear. Leona, what are you doing? Amazing. Wing wangs all over her. See? That's how you make a wing wang joke.
What? What was wrong with my wing wang?
Raven throws down the body slam. Now has to auto attack
his
his
ultimate
way
again.
out. Gets the flash. They're now flashless in the top lane. Ocean Drake coming down, and that's pretty big for this Gragas, I feel.
So the way these are being set up right now, both the rotations in this game and how the lanes themselves are going.
Oop, body
a little bit
slam
of trading
in.
back and forth. I don't know if he
Oh,
wants to
no.
keep body slamming in. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he can take that kill. Take that fight.
Was spicy.
Take that fight. Kill him.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go for it.
But
Wait,
now
no,
it's too
Zach's
late.
coming, though. He's getting baited right into it.
He's gonna get...
Oh,
Oh! Body slam cancels out the elastic slingshot.
Oh my god.
Horseman is so low, but Amazing is down bottom. He can't get in this fight. It's a clean 1v2. But now Corrin's trying to get some damage down, gets slowed, throws down the Bard Tunnel. Raven ends up surviving that 1v2. And everything calms back down to normal.
Very nicely played. I take back what I said before. Gragas has a definite idea what he needs to be doing. Maybe the execution itself could use a little bit of work, but the way he managed to throw that explosive cast, get the Darius into his queue, very nicely played. Makes him wind up winning that trade overall, and then body slamming the elastic slingshot afterwards.
Which, by the
Overall-
way, was completely blind. He had zero
Right.
idea that Zach was there.
Just quick reactions. Very nice play. Oh, he misses the Q though. The ultimate's still available. He's got nowhere
Oh
to
no,
go.
there's the 5th stack. Tons of damage. Raven's out of mana. He's kind of just
He's
going to
doing
run
the rift kill. He
away.
doesn't want to help.
But now Iris getting taken down. Oh no, there's the ultimate. Raven, you will not survive! Horseman picks up the kill. Can he trade it back? It doesn't matter because Lux is in the middle lane, bottom lane, picking up kills. Amazing is forced to run away before giving up the double kill. Amazing, what are you doing, buddy?
I mean, we may as well call Master... Oh my god, they even gave the Rift Herald over to Zach.
He just kind of walked up and was
Why
like...
do you walk away from that? Are you scared of the 1v1 from the Zach? Oh no.
Was Zach just kind of walked up and was like, wait, this is mine now? Sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Zach
buddy.
literally walked up and just auto-attacked that Rift Herald to death from 800 HP. Oh god.
They really cannot get this control ward. They've tried like 3 times now. They're kind of struggling.
We may as well call our Master Yi just straight up amazing. And I don't mean the adjective, I mean the jungler. Because he's doing
Hey,
a
now.
really good job at screwing over his teammates.
Hey now, he's doing pretty good on the monkeys right now.
I don't know, he really hesitated on helping.
Oh,
the
no!
body slam. He really hesitated on helping out his Gragas. He comes up too late. Gragas goes down anyway, and then he almost dies himself. So he gets neither the Rift Herald nor the gank. Really,
These
he
things
seems
happen.
like he's just a little confused at what he wants to be doing right now.
These things happen.
Look at that vision control in the top lane as well, though. I did mention earlier when the Zac was locked in, Elder Dragon, or Elder League doesn't have the same kind of vision control you'd expect from an LCS team. But that's some very nice vision in the top lane. I'm curious how they managed to accomplish that.
Well, that's
without
all
even a
blue
tracker's
wards.
knife on the Zac.
That's all Blue World wards, which is the Zach's team. So they actually still have 0 vision on the Zach himself.
Right. I am very impressed with how they managed to establish that vision, however. Squids words, they managed to keep tabs on the Yi for the most part, a little bit trading back and forth.
Oh,
they're
he
just
does
outlining
get
Zach.
Tibbers stunned.
They
The
got him.
Alpha Strike follows him in, pop the passive Tempered Fate onto Leona. Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands onto the Master Yi, however. Chick picks up a kill in the mid lane. And just going to walk out after that. No more Rift Herald thoughts. No more really engaged potential either.
Speaking of Rift Herald, it's halfway gone already. They're going to have to decide where they want to assign this Rift Herald soon, or they're going to lose it.
And once again, back to the control ward. There's no Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Ouchies takes the tunnel to safety. And the control ward survives.
For now. Looks like Bard's not done yet. Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, yeah, it goes down, but there's tons of damage onto Ouchies.
He really just wants to get rid of that vision. Maybe they want to make a play on the bottom lane, or he just really wants that control ward gold. I don't know.
Considering that his jungler's been very top-centric, I don't think they're really thinking about ganks right now. And Annie hasn't really moved either. But Annie has completed that Rod of Ages up to 5 stacks already, too.
Here comes Rift Herald mid lane.
Popped in... I couldn't see it on my screen, so I thought it fizzled, and I was like, oh, that's horrible. But, so now, what do we see? Chicks doesn't have stun.
Darius has no TP yet either.
Raven Smash not going to connect the body slam, and then just kind of eats a ton of damage. Stretching Strikes comes in, but the Rift Herald goes down. And they haven't secured the tower.
I do love that roam. We can see that Bard was busy coming up as well. Gragas decided, hey, you know what? I'm doing decently in this lane. Uh-oh. Spoke too soon.
Tempted Fate not available. Slow onto Iris. Gets the slow.
Oh!
Stun! What is that stun?
Did he just...
And Enchanted Crystal Arrow flies way out the back of the lane. But that stun is why Bard is a dumb champion.
He just predicted it. He predicted the flash. I just looked back at it. He legitimately just predicted that.
The issue with Bard Q is that once the first part connects, no matter what, the second part will connect based on where the first part landed. Oh, the flash in from Horseman into the head chop means the kill. Now they're on to the Cloud Drake. It's gonna be the second one going down to Squidward's. No, that's Sparks Plugs. They traded sides. So Sparkplugs now has an Ocean, a Drake to their name, and there's going to be a second Drake coming up in 5 minutes.
You definitively called it, though. That's a Lichbane first for a Gragas top.
I wasn't supposed to be right!
I know, I was really hoping that was just a little bit of, you know, just a joke, but no, this was not just a prank. We're going to have an AP Gragas in the top lane, who is currently losing the 1v1 into the Darius.
Gragas top lane, Consexual. Next, coming soon to an Ascension Esports YouTube channel near you.
This is a family stream, Doctor.
Is it though? We have someone named Amazing Wing Wang. Let's be real here.
Ooh.
I think we threw Family Show out the window. And actually, I want to direct your look to another questionable purchase. We're going to be seeing Rage Blade Amazing Master Yi.
Along with the Essence Reaver again on the Lucian.
I know these teams have coaches. Can somebody please teach them how to build Lucian?
I don't understand exactly what's going on
Holy
here.
moly, what is that damage?
Oh, God.
Raven Smash gets completely decimated. Wing Wang wants to go in. Let's Bounce. Not going to connect on anybody. Throws down the cheeky smite just to say, get out of here, you ding-dang kid. But gonna maybe fight over this control ward. Control ward wars not over just yet, but now they are. Goes over to Squids wards.
That's the thing, though. If you're building AP Gragas anyway, I mean, it might just be he actually doesn't know what you're supposed to build on AP Gragas. But everyone I've seen, if they go for the Sheen, it's an optional. You go for the Sheen, it's a lot of extra damage, it helps you clear waves, the mana's nice, but then you build like a few different items you really can build, but the most popular being the Proto Belt next. That's HP, that gives you tankiness, this gives you nothing.
Tibbers comes in, Hippoptimus Prime flashes, but not in time, goes down, kills going over, once again, 2 spark plugs.
Yeah, not quite sure what the thought processes are.
So actually, you were talking about this first item from Darius. Now that we know that it's an AP Gragas, it actually makes sense. because now that Spirit Visage, you have the magic resist, you have the boosted healing every time you land a Decimate. Amazing Wing Wing, though, says, hey, hello, let me grab that Ash, and trying to get away, not in time.
Oh!
Amazing flashes into the wall, but doesn't go down. Banshee's Veil does get popped onto Corrin, but everybody from then on stays alive, but more jumps in from Ravensman.
Well, the problem is, the entire idea of the AP Gragas is you whittle them down a little bit like he's currently doing, and then you go in for one last all-in with surprising burst.
Which, I think this is it. I don't think
he's got
Darius...
another Q up. Oh, he misses the Q. Goes too early. He's done. Goodbye.
The 1v1! It goes over to Darius.
Or,
Or, it doesn't go to Darius. It's against Darius. Hippopotamus doesn't land the stretching strikes, however.
No, that's the problem with the Spirit Visage, though. It's fantastic in really long trades. When you keep managing to get the healing for it, you get to utilize the CDR. If you just let the Gragas body slam into you over and over again, that's how you guys trade. Hey, hit me with your body slam, auto me with your W Lich Bane, and then Q me over and over again. And then once in a while, I'll land a Q on you in return. You don't win that. That's not what Spirit Visage is for. You need to make sure you're actually still winning the trades that you decide to take.
Oh, what are you doing? That's a lot of damage.
Oh, the double red trinket in return.
I don't think Iris knew they were there. Holy moly, tons of damage landing on to the Lucian. Huge stun coming in from the bar.
Nice
now Zac is stuck in place. Let's bounces him into oblivion. Now the TP coming in to keep him alive. That's so cheeky. Zac will not be dying just yet.
What
No stun coming in. The fashion from Kotarchik gets exhausted. Doesn't get the kill just yet. Double kill for the AP Gragas, however. They're going to take that all the way to the bank. They're going to move their way to the top side, but still, they're going to have an eye out. Ouchies, though, taken super duper low, taken out. Corrin the Cat trying to make work come in, but Amazing Wing Wing wants to take it for himself. Now it's Horseman 4 in a 1v4. Can he get anything done? I actually don't know. Is going to get caught here. Wing Wing gets dragged in. Amazing Chanting Crystal Arrow lands onto the Lucian. Corrin the Cat is going to go down to Ravensman. Now it's Horseman 4 in a 1v3. The Flash Decimate doesn't connect for the kill, but he's still trying. Double kill coming in there, actually. Shut down. One after another, and they keep their tower alive. That was a lot.
Plugs have actually done it. Remember, can you recall what I said this composition was when it was first made in Champion Select?
Bad.
It is absolutely solo queue-esque. And Sparks Plugs have managed to utilize that solo queue aspect to its full potential. Random 5v5 fights in the topside jungle that go on for so long, Ashe can get caught out, die, and have the time to walk all the way back up to the fight before it's done. These are some of the scrappiest fights we have seen in the Elder League for a while, and a big reason for that is the non-traditional picks, but also I do like nobody in this game is afraid to use abilities and summoner spells. We don't see people going down when they still have Flash or Ignite available. They're willing to use everything to try and make plays and get picks and get kills. And what it does show, although it does show a little
Amazing, what are you doing?
Oh boy.
The smite comes in to block down the
that's what he's
damage.
doing.
Gets some help though. Corrin not going to be able to pick up that kill. Killing spree for Lux. But now the stun actually doesn't connect. However, Tempered Fate lands onto two. Iris is caught. Body slam into the Incinerate. Let's bounce onto 3 members though. However, it's not enough. Goes down in the end. Leona's on the run. Takes a full culling. That was a lot of damage. And that is another Ocean Drake going over to Sparks Plugs. In all honesty, I think at this point we're seeing game 3. Unless something catastrophically goes wrong.
No. We have no idea if this is going to 3 games yet.
I think it is.
This is solo queue. Neither team has won until one of the Nexuses explodes. Nexi.
That's not what you said last game. I will clip that last game where you said,
last game was
nope,
not solo
write it
queue.
off,
This is
throw it in the bin,
absolutely solo queue.
throw it in the
Look at this.
dumpster.
Look at that H arrow!
It hit Tibbers.
Planned? She literally threw that from Fountain. And it's gonna hit Yi. Okay. Alright. Well, back to Fountain for you, Yi.
It's like, oh darn, my move speed's gone. Gosh darn it.
Completely negates the home guards. Absolutely strategic play right there.
Hashtag all planned. He knew that if Master Yi wasn't on the map, he couldn't kill him.
We have got, in the same game, Darius, AP Gragas, Master Yi,
Attack speed
Mid
Master
Annie,
Yi.
Essence Reaver Lucian. This isn't a game that was planned out thoroughly. This is a game...
Oh! Does get the unraveled earth. That's the cue. I play a lot of Talia, I'm not gonna lie, and I actually don't know 2 of her ability names or her passive. I just call it long.
You don't even know how to say her name correctly.
Talia? That's how you say her name. Talia. Sorry.
There we go. It's like the whole Shaco Shaco debate.
No, if you
which
say
I'm also right about too.
Hold on. How do I say Shaco? Yeah, I say Shaco.
Good. Alright, so you're the right side. It's like the right Twix and the left Twix, but, you know, with an actual winner.
But an actual answer. So, Raven Smash gonna land on to the Talia. Corrin's HP is just gone. Let's Bounce gonna miss everybody. The Tibbers can't connect either. The stun lands onto everybody. How does Amazing survive? He's running out off the outside. Here comes the axe, though. Horseman does get 1 kill, doesn't get a set. Oh, he does get a double kill. What is that? Raven's man is going to go down in the backside to Corrin as well. But now Lux is trying to do whatever Lux's do. Does get exhausted, has not enough damage. Shutdown coming in from Leona. And what just happened?
What just happened is solo queue. I don't know how many times I have to say this. These teams aren't really planning out what they want to do. They're just seeing champions and killing champions, seeing Baron and kill Baron. They're not actually quite sure how to utilize these compositions. They're just really throwing themselves at each other and trying to out-team fight. And that's really how this game's going to be decided. Which team can team fight better and which team can catch the other one out first.
Tempered Fate goes in, so does the Weaver's Wall, and now I think Ouchies is going to feel a couple of them.
Through that?
I don't think it matters, because it's
dead.
Right,
he completely forgot he could actually tunnel through that. Alright, I was about to say you're not supposed to use your Weaver's Wall just for a Bard, but I guess that works out if the Bard doesn't know you can eat through the Weaver's Wall.
I mean, they got the tower, too, which is pretty helpful. It cuts off the minions, but...
I cut off the minion, well, I guess.
Oh, no.
God,
oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no! They are still continuing on to Horseman, though. He gets a 3-man apprehend. Does get the 5th stack, gets the head chomp, gets the kill. He can reset! He can end it! He can get the triple kill! The flash comes out from Lux. Horseman doesn't want to run through the culling because there's just too much damage. But in a 3v1, he takes 2.
That was unbelievably disgusting. And I don't know what was worse, seeing a Darius just tank all that damage, or seeing a Gragas miss all that damage.
Hey, he has 3 skill shots, and he only missed 2 of them.
Please. He's building a catalyst item, 3rd item. I really don't want to know what that is. If that's a Rod of Ages, you can start solo casting, by the way.
Well, the issue is he already has the Proto Belt, so it has to be a Rod of Ages. You can't have... I don't believe
actually going to tilt.
I don't believe you can have a Proto Belt and a GLC 700 820.
You can buy them, you just can't utilize both the actives. They both go on cooldown. So either way, it's definitely the incorrect decision because a 30-minute Rod of Ages is just as bad as having stacking actives.
He's really expecting the late game. Oh, the Flash Tibbers coming in. Hipoptimus is gonna get the Let's Bounce. He's gonna Let's Bounce him right into Corrin. Oh no, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow puts Annie in the ground. Amazing does win the 1v1 with Corrin though. Down in the bot lane, it is Lux versus Darius, and you don't win that one, my friend. Doesn't even need the ultimate. He already beat you and 2 friends. What makes you think you can win a 1v1?
I have a feeling he just really wanted that last wave of bottom farm. And he got the bottom farm. So mission accomplished. He just also gave the Darius another kill.
I did it, coach! Do you believe in me yet?
Oh,
Leona
God.
getting
Where's the
the
portal?
snare on to Amazing. Amazing's trying to get the damage, but he just simply doesn't have it. The Tempered Fate comes in, doesn't save the Master Yi, however. And that's the end of that.
So
That's
Bard
over.
decided to not use his E to save his Master Yi. Instead, he was going to run around, pick up a chime, and tell goodbye. You know, just wave.
A sweet
Watch the Master Yi
eulogy.
die. Yeah, sweet dreams.
Good night, my prince.
An accurate depiction of what happened to Amazing after he left Origin.
Hey, he won the Challenger Series.
Ooh. You know who else has won the Challenger Series? Coast. Twice.
Yeah, but that's
I
a
don't know
team.
if that's the kind of metric we want to use.
That's a team. That's 5 players. Amazing
Okay,
is only
Chris.
1 player. Weaver's Wall coming in pretty early. It does block a lot of the minions, but like, why?
I'm honestly not.
Where are
sure.
these
Was that-
minions
was that
going?
Maybe just to send a message.
Where are these minions? They just went all the way around.
Ah, the backdooring minions. See, these minions have more rotations than either of these teams at this point. Look at the movement. Look at the sequencing.
Half health. Annie can't be slowed. Actually, that's amazing. That can't be slowed. But the ghost gets
ghosted?
popped anyway. Corrin just wants to
Corrin
charge
ghosted.
at him. Doesn't get the seismic shove. Hey, I remembered this ability I couldn't remember. Now I can't
Very
remember
well
her E.
played.
It's Unraveled Earth, Seismic Shove, something Weaver's Wall.
Wow.
So
we
now,
can see
alright. So
the
actually, hold
Gragas
up.
flank is coming
How
in.
does
Are they
Spark
aware he's in
Plugs?
there?
How does Spark Plugs get in here? The flash comes out from the Ash. Tempered Fate only lands onto Leona. Perfectly timed body slam, however. But here comes the 4-man Let's Bounce. Kind of goes the wrong way, though. Now he's trapped by himself. Does go down. Ravensman uses the Protobelt to stay alive. Ocean Drake now healing everybody up.
Now, I'm not exactly sure what Zack intended to do with his ultimate there, but I think he just did the league equivalent of Get Down, Mr. President, in an attempt to save his support.
He
Who, by the way,
sacrificed
we have
himself
called
for the
both
greater
Leona
good.
and Karma at different points. You should really have a different name, man, if you're going to be playing a different champion.
I get where he's going for with the name. I just refuse to say
Yeah.
it on stream. It's a family show.
Is it? I'm still not sure. We need to get like a ratings organization in here, figure out if this is a family show or not. Because if this is mature audiences only, well, that
We're
could
gonna have
severely
we're gonna have
change
some
the cast.
very interesting team names next season if that's how this goes.
I mean, we're already getting there. What exactly are we plugging up for Spark?
I always see it as like a car. You know, like spark plugs in your car. They're the things that
Right.
make it go.
Right, that's exactly what I meant. But you're a doctor, not a mechanic. How could you possibly know?
Because I'm also an adult.
Ooh. We don't allow very many of those in Ascension Esports. We're going to have to ask you to leave.
There's got to be like at least one. I think Deserux is... I think we're way off topic.
Well, I mean, what exactly is happening here that needs to be analyzed?
How does spark plugs get back in this? They have the full AP. They have the full AP Gragas, who we still don't know what he's taking with that catalyst.
You want to know how Spark plugs can
How
get
do they
back
win
into
this game?
Are
They
you
have-
sure you want to know?
Is that how they
Was
win
that
this
Mash
game?
Arrow? Okay, that was an enchanted crystal arrow used to prevent Master Yi from stealing away raptors. Okay, well, back into win conditions. The first step for the spark plugs, they all need to get matching red shiny noses. Next, they need to acquire as many clown afro wigs as possible. If they can acquire these two things, they'll have the full item set needed to outclown Squids words. But in the meantime, really, in all honesty though,
I was gonna say, I
really-
feel like you didn't take my question seriously. Ouchie here is getting caught up, still gets away. Amazing dives
Some more
himself into a
miscommunication.
1v3. Huge 2-man knockup coming out of Ravensman.
Wow.
Amazing is trapped on a ward, however. Huge stun
Oh,
coming
God.
in from the Bard. Let's Bounce comes in, does get the explosive keg out from the Gragas,
Baron's
but
in
it's
30
now
seconds too.
it's 3 members down. Baron in 25 seconds. They got to start prepping a wave. They do take the mid tower as well. They're gonna get this Baron for free, and that's how we do it, folks.
The worst part is we have no idea of really knowing whether or not any of that was actually prepared, but it looked prepared.
No.
It was very well played.
Let's Bounce does bring them both into the tower, but Amazing's going to be dropping tower aggro. Never. He's actually going to die. Oh! He dropped the tower, but it does... he does anyway. But it looked cool. Pulls in Lux, gets the stun on to Horseman. The body slam, I think it connected, but it was weird. Here comes the Sterix Gauge. Let's Bounce lands on the 2 members. Let's Bounce goes down. Hip Optimus down for the Baron. This tower's going so down to the oblivion. But now what can they do? The Flash Decimate from Horseman. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to connect onto the Gragas. Ravensman body slams through the Bard Tunnel. Horseman is now in his own league. Now he gets the pull onto Annie, actually. Coder Chick is going to go down. Horseman picks up the kill. Weaver's Wall coming in. Another Bard Tunnel traps the enemy team into the wall. Lux gets slowed up on the chase as Corrin with no jungler available. This should go to Squidswords.
They're going to have to defend that bottom side, and they do have the HP to be able to take this Baron. Oh, they haven't left yet, though. Gragas and Lucian are staying.
There's no smite, so
no.
Culling coming out. Culling landing onto Horseman. He eats the full Culling.
They lost the vision, the control ward's there.
Oh, what is that? You can't do that! Ravensman! What are you doing? What?
Wait a minute.
What?
He just stole the Baron. Wait, he's doing Elder Drake solo? Oh, we're going to have another collapse.
TP coming in from Ravensman. He already stole one objective. Can he keep his team for the second one? It doesn't even matter! Amazing has the damage! Elder Drake Baron! For Sparks Plugs! Ouchie's getting caught, dodges the Let's Bounce, and now Hip Optimus is way far away! Amazing's in the back of the team, he gets Enchanted Crystal Arrow! He also gets the Tempered Fate throwdown on him. Seismic Shove takes him down, however. 2-man Apprehend. Weaver's Wall gonna split the team. Tibber's coming in onto Horseman 4, now trapped by himself. Chasing down on the Coder Chick. Does he have the damage? He can't.
Darius. What are they doing?
He now gets the 5th stack, throws down the hammer, but it's not enough. Shutdown coming in from Ouchies, and 4 members still alive, down to the Ace. They got aced. They have Baron and the Elder Drake. The closest one to spawning is the Zac at 20 seconds, so they're not going to end here. But what is happening?
So you asked me what Sparks Plugs need to do to get back into the game. I answered you. Seriously, they just need to outclone. What did they just do? They took mindless aggression and they shoved it down Squidward's throats. And it worked. Because that's kind of what this composition does. And also, for once I was wrong, because I'm not wrong very often, but that was actually an Abyssal Mask, Rip Abyssal Scepter, that he built into. I forgot that they keep changing new item builds for the Abyssal because apparently they don't like keeping things consistent.
I had no idea on that item
It's
as well.
Catalyst and Negatron Cloak. I forgot about that change because nobody buys Abyssal all of a sudden.
I don't... My brain is starting to hurt, and I don't think I have enough water. I'm actually out of water. I'm screwed if this game goes much longer. I might die.
We can swap. We'll keep the Clown Fiesta identity alive. I'll go the play-by-play. You go the color casting, and then we bring an admin in for the tri-cast for the 3rd game.
Well, where's Spark? Spark needs to cast his team, cause they're
literally the equivalent of bringing Rick Fox to cast a tri-cast with us.
To be fair, I would love to hear Rick Fox cast a game, because in all honesty, I don't think he really knows that much about League. I know he plays it, but just to have him on the desk, I think would be hilarious.
So it'd just be like having Riv on the desk.
Hey, you cannot touch Rivington. He is a god among men. And you want to know why? Because your other choice is Freak. And let's be real here.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right.
Well, actually,
I'll
you
shut up
got
about
pastry
that one.
time. You got flowers too. There's other
How's-
options. So I was
How's
being
your accent?
whose accent?
Yours.
I
Can
don't
you do
know.
a pastry time?
I can't do a
might need
pastry
it.
time. I can barely do a Boston accent. Let's bounce coming in,
Oh,
doesn't
boy.
connect. Amazing's trapped by himself, however. He gets the Alpha Strike, takes Iris down to half HP. That's scary. Although, that's now a member down. And
Right. That's going to stem the bleeding a little bit. But you can see they're a little hesitant to continue that push.
so what did they actually get with the Baron buff and the Elder Drake? Because I don't remember
They
them taking
managed to
down...
get a whole bunch of gold. And they got a mid inhibitor.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And I don't know, maybe a top tower? Did they have top? They had top tower already.
Yeah, so they got,
got
the...
2 towers and an inhib mid, and
Which is
a ton
worth.
of kills.
Which is definitely worth it.
Definite worth.
So they're
Absolutely.
5k above. However, we're reaching a point in the game where I feel like that might not matter as much. We see 6-item Darius, 5.5 item Talia, and I believe that's a full item Karma.
What's important to keep note is almost all summoner spells are up. I don't expect to see too much fighting until they're completely back up. But then again, these teams are so unbelievably unpredictable. It's hard to say for sure. We know no objectives are going to be up for quite a while as well. Baron's still got a good 4 or 5 minutes on it. Elder, not Baron.
The
Elder
other
has a good 4 or
objective.
5 minutes. Baron's got at least 2.5. I don't remember the exact timer, but basically, there's only going to be minion waves to be clearing for quite a while. The occasional jungle camp. We might see another enchanted crystal arrow being used to stop Master Yi from getting another raptor camp, perhaps.
And I mean, I mentioned when we first saw the Master Yi that there were a couple different build paths that you can see here. I'm actually kind
Oh.
of surprised.
You see what
Ooh.
just happened there?
I did not, but this is cheeky. Pops the Banshee's Veil, doesn't get the stun. Korn has flash,
Okay.
but it's not even timed. Holy moly, that's so much damage! And now they already have the waves primed, so they can push into this tower. Coder Chick is on the flank, even though they do see him. I actually don't know.
Sieging this.
This tower is going to go down for free because there's no way they can defend this 5v4. Baron's up in a minute and a half. Corrin is dead for 40 seconds.
What
There's-
I wanted to point out was that there's a Zeke's Convergence built for Karma. First instance we're going to see that item being used post-rework.
So was
for
it
those who-
reworked for last week's Elder League? I don't believe it was.
I think it might have been, but people didn't decide to build it anyway. Really, you can only really utilize it on the Karma, honestly. You use that
Effectively.
ultimate so often.
Yeah.
I mean, you can use it on other champions, of course. You definitely can't use it on Tom Kench, which I'm definitely sad about. Because you don't want to be flinging your ADC into their entire team, unfortunately.
So
But,
we
yeah,
have...
it's...
I don't know what we have because now Talia's alive. They
All summoners
cannot.
up.
They can't make any headway on this tower because there's just too much wave clear. But
Talia is... There's the Zeke's Convergence going again. Talia's clearing the mid wave. She might be trying to set up a Weaver's Wall flank.
so there's a
Looks like the team's backing off. They realize they can't get anything more out of this. The inhibitor's coming up soon. Baron's in 20. They want to set up.
There's also
They're backing
a
away now and buying
huge
items.
midway or huge minion wave in that top side that somebody has to deal with. So they send the Master Yi back.
He's got
Lucian-
full items now. Guardian's Angel, last item. That's very, very deadly. Now they can't just pick off the Master Yi if he decides to dive in, because there's going to be that delayed reaction, going to give the rest of the team time to follow up on any kind of initiation Master Yi might have running into the team.
I mean, he's been their major engage tool for the last couple of fights, and he does get taken out pretty quickly. But if the team's there to keep him alive, that's pretty much GG. And now that he has that GA, things get very tricky because he has the GA respawn time for his cooldowns. He has the Tempered Fate. Corrin
Oh boy, they're just
playing
going for it.
with fire.
Darius needs a TP now. They need to go now if they want to stop this.
There's a ward directly in the middle of the pit. Baron is down. TP coming in now. That's canceled, so that is no longer a factor. Oh, ouchies.
decent chunk.
Ouchie's pretty tanky, actually, as a bard.
He has a dead man's plate.
Yeah, this game's gone on for
He's-
quite a while.
He's going for Sonic Speed Bard to try and get Cosmic Bindings early on. He's going to have, what, 550 movement speed with that?
It's quite a number. But there's just so much wave clear here. They need Gragas for the team fight, but they also really need him on this split push because there's simply too much wave clear between the Ashe.
Oh my god.
Oh, huge two-man Tempered Fate. Iris is there. Iris doesn't get knocked up, but Leona is down. Zonia's in for the Gragas. Airborne taken down. Koderchik dies. Amazing takes out the AD carry. Amazing is on a rampage. Shutdown coming in for the Lucian. Raven flashes out, gets flashed on, goes down, but Amazing has already taken down the inhibitor. The ace coming in. The Nexus is going down. That is Sparkplugs taking this to a series. Game 3, I called it at like 20 minutes. And
that's it. I don't suppose you have any carnival music in your playlist.
Some what's the one where they just like run through all the doors and stuff?
Or I don't know, you could play Silver Scrapes Marks Edition. That would also be fitting.
I don't know what happens. These teams.
I mean, I kind of like it. At the same time, they've basically given up on trying to do things the traditional way, but if it works, I mean, you may as well play what works. It's the TSM strategy, isn't it? I mean, if they're going to keep giving you Lee Sin every game, then just keep picking it and winning with it.
Yeah, I mean, I told you that this lane swap, it didn't work the first time, so now we see them bring it out this time, and it does work. And, you asked me, is it troll, is it not? And sometimes you really do just have to change the way the game plays. And that's what they were doing right there is they swapped topside. They made it work, even though if it was, questionable, it worked.
Yeah, and in the end, the win is what everybody looks at the most. Doesn't matter how you get there. It's just a matter of if you get there.
All right, so we're going to be right back, guys. That was a long game, so stay tuned. We do have another game for you. This is going to be a 3-game series between Squids Wards and Sparkplugs. Hopefully, Game 3 is just as exciting as this one, but once again, guys, stay tuned. We will be right back.
I'm writing down the stream link thing for Game 3.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We had to take an extended break because my voice is shot, Lovedee died, and we had to find a replacement 2 teams because both died of exhaustion. But we made it work. We're back. Champion sites for Game 3 is exciting.
Yeah, exciting to say the least. I hope we get to continue the trend from Game 2. Baron steals, AP Gruggus, Mid Annie, good old Master Yi in the jungle as well. It's like we flipped back 4 or 5 seasons to maybe even a little bit more than that. Pick our composition.
I don't think that's ever been a competitive meta pick, like that lineup. That's never been a competitive pick, but it's definitely been in a solo queue near you.
You obviously haven't been following the Season 2 South African scene then, if you're going to say that.
There wasn't even servers. These servers back in Season 2.
So crazy.
Back in the Season 2, there was the EU West server, the EU North or Nordic. What did NE stand for? I don't even remember. Server. The
Northeast?
Yeah, it was like EU Northeast or something server. The NA server. There wasn't even a Latin America server yet. That came out like Season 3 or 4. So we had like 4 servers across all the world for League of Legends in Season 2.
So we can see here they have used their 2 bans in the first rotation this time instead of kind of measuring them out like they did in the first game. Both Zillion and Fiora being banned away like game 2. Lucian first picked as well. Could potentially flex that into 3, maybe 4 lanes if Amazing is feeling really adventurous this game. Warwick has been locked in return. Blind.
Yeah, so this Lucian pick worked out very well for Lux last game. They're going to probably hand that over once again. But the Lux pick signals to me that they want to go with a hyper carry AD carry. So that I'm thinking they want to see a Tristana. I'm thinking they want to see a Twitch. Or a... If they pick Jhin, I'm going to tilt. Because that's just not what you pick with the Lux.
You know, I'm a little bit tilted already just by the fact that we have to call one person on one team Lux and the other one Leona. Of course, we could always call one Bay, but the other one, I don't know if there's much of an alternative.
Lump. We'll just call him Lump.
Lump. Sounds fantastic. Alright, back into the actual rotations of Champion Select. Annie's been blind picked again. We're going to see the Annie once more. LS is currently crying tears of joy. The Lulu was locked in. The Bard was locked in again. We're going to get a lot of the same team composition from Sparks Plugs again. You should probably swap that on the screen.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm like, something's wrong here.
And at the same time, we're going to have Ziggs locked in for the mid lane. Corrin has decided, well, you know, I'm really going to stop trying to deal with this Annie. I'm just going to clear waves, and I don't even care. You can't hit me with tippers if I'm 2 towers away.
Well, this was kind of one of the picks I was expecting earlier this series, like game 1, actually, when they decided to pick the Lucian instead. Because this is a champion that Corrin gets a lot. You know, Zillion's usually banned, so we see a lot of Ziggs. We see Xerath. We see stuff like that. So to see the Lucian come out and be such an aggressive pick that just doesn't fit the typical playstyle, I was actually really surprised. But now, you know, they tried the Talia, it didn't work, so they go to the Ziggs, which is next down on that champ pool list, and we're going to hopefully see a better showing there, because the Talia just didn't really do a whole lot.
Right, we didn't see the Weaver's Wall really utilized effectively for the most part. There was one bottom lane gank that it really made a difference in, but besides that, wasn't really utilized as well. So if you're going to be picking the Talia, you're not going to really be roaming with it. You may as well pick the Ziggs, have safer wave clear, have good tower pushing with it.
Yeah.
We can see that Master Yi and Gragas have both been banned away second rotation.
So we
they
can't
realize Sparks Plugs are using the exact same composition as last game. They're not going to have any of it. They don't want to deal with that composition again. They don't want to be brought down to the Clown Fiesta level and beaten with experience. Instead, they're going to try something a little bit different this game. Definitely more conservative overall. The Ziggs and the Lulu means they're not going to be nearly as aggressive. They're going to be kiting back, clearing waves, staying at a distance. The Warwick doesn't exactly fit into that plan, but may be a comfort pick for Rusty specifically.
It could be top lane Warwick. We saw that last week.
Ooh, okay.
That is an 80 carry Ziggs.
Oh, God.
And I'm tilted.
Picking the Ziggs Lulu. I actually...
That's a bad lane.
You specifically pick Ziggs. Right. Ziggs Lulu, not a lot of synergy. Ziggs isn't exactly going to get a lot of auto attacks off. But what it does provide is not only safety and wave clear, really effective wave clear, because Lulu can also thin out the wave a little bit herself with her Q. But what it does provide is it's enough safety to where Lucian Bard cannot really push up. You pick the Ziggs into lanes that you know can't take advantage of the lack of wave clear because they just don't have enough of it. Lack of wave clear specifically for the other side. Ziggs is going to shove up the wave. Lucian is going to have to be farming up under tower. If he wants to try and keep up with that... Wait a minute. Hold on. I was talking about the old... What's going on?
I think these are legitimate picks. I honestly think that the Amumu Mordekaiser are legitimate picks. Mordekaiser has seen competitive play. Amumu very strong
Mordekaiser
currently.
hasn't seen... What? I mean, like, wasn't that bot lane? Was this a top lane Mord we saw?
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
Mordekaiser's, he was played
Wait,
yesterday.
who played that? Oh my god.
It was yesterday in I watched it, but it was right after I woke up.
Right.
It was the
Was
first
it
series.
Kickus?
Yeah, it must have been because it was the first series yesterday, which was.
It was Kickus, yeah.
Monkeys
Kickus played Top
versus
Mordekaiser. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And it smashed. It dominated that game.
We legitimately have Mordekaiser, Amumu, Annie. This is unprecedented. This is the composition they came up with. I mean...
So the issue is, Mordekaiser actually got kind of counterpicked by the Darius. You know, Horseman did very well on the pick last game. It just kind of got beaten up by the AP Gragas. But Mordekaiser has a very tough laning phase and 0 movement abilities, so he can't exactly body slam in or out.
But what he does have is... unfortunately, I am pretty good friends with somebody who's in the top 100 Mordekaisers in the world. No, he's not Brazilian, before you wonder.
Wait.
But I know he loves specifically the Darius matchup, because the Darius will unwittingly grab the Mordekaiser in for those 1v1s, and somehow, some way, I haven't seen it very often, the Mordekaiser wins that 1v1 in the all-in. Don't ask me how, I'm not quite sure how. I think it has something to do with the way W interaction works and how much damage and healing you get for it. But regardless, this may have been a legitimate Darius counterpick. It may be a little bit of trolling going on, I'm not entirely sure. But overall, it's not the worst pick in the world. It's not like he's playing it into Cannon or Gnar. Amumu as well. Amumu Annie. Now this is something real traditional. This is like old school solo queue wombo combo potential, especially with the Tempered Fate potential from the Bard. You can pick off targets, Syndra and Ziggs. There's really nobody with a real dash on the side of Squid's wards. Warwick could use his ultimate to escape, but basically you get caught by that Tempered Fate, you're going to get womboed hard. You're going to get wrecked with a ton of CC, a ton of upfront damage, and that's something that needs to be kept in the back of Squid's Ward's minds as we load up into this game. Some more things to talk about. Syndra, like I mentioned, game 1 with Ahri being banned away, Echo not exactly the most popular mid laner right now. Syndra gets to reign supreme as the lane bully in the mid lane when Lucian isn't around. And going to be interesting to see how Annie manages to deal with that. Syndra's got, of course, the range advantage. She has the advantage. Not a lot of people talk about this, but she's got something very specific to her kit. We see it in things like Hecarim's Q as well, but her cast times don't stop her mobility. You can keep moving while she's casting all 4 of her abilities, and that's something that she can definitely take advantage of. She can kite around, kind of like how Orianna is as well, but she can kite around and really make use of that range advantage and that mobility advantage she'll have in the 1v1. So, going to see if Annie can keep up with that, try and survive that lane, maybe even overcome that disadvantage. And the top lane, of course, they're going to be smacking on each other constantly. I want to see who wins that out.
I honestly don't know what to think of this game. We are going to be loading onto the Rifts very shortly, and I don't know what to expect. There's so many things wrong with this game, and they're gonna work because that's what they do. Every time you get trolled in solo queue, it usually works. The amount of times I've lost or won with stupid garbage like Pantheon support is unheard of. Like, stuff like this works, and it works for a reason, because the enemy team just simply does not expect it. Who on Squidwards was expecting to run into a Mordekaiser top? He's even got the right skin on. So,
man, they both have Storm Raiders. They are going to be clobbering each other in this top lane. I am so excited to see how this works out. Amumu went Thunderlords. He wants a little bit more damage as well. We see Ziggs has opted for the Thunderlords for more of the burst instead of the Deathfire touch poke.
And we got a Fervor Warwick and Fervor Lucian, which works. It's not bad.
Yeah. No, for Revolution is definitely the standard. You're not supposed to go Warlords.
There's just a reason that Warlord carries are in right now, because it is a stronger keystone just overall. But it's something that you wouldn't pick for Lucian just because it's a different build style.
Right. We're going to be loading into the Rift now. And for all of you who are interactive in Twitch chat, on the Discord, on all kinds of social media that Ascension likes to put out, tell us right now, if you please, who's going to win this match? Is Sparks Plugs going to make the reverse sweep comeback with their dartboard composition where they just cover their eyes, throw the dart, and hope for the best? Or are we going to see Squids Wards make the comeback, trying to pop off once again on this Darius top, pull a full Cloud9 at Worlds? 2 balls.
Wait, what?
What, you wanted some Rivington?
My brain is so fried right now. I'm struggling, man. That last game took a lot out of me, and I fully expect this game to be very similar.
I'm telling you, man. If we need to do the role swap like they did the role swap, we can do it.
I think I'll be fine, but we'll have to wait and see, because there's a lot that can happen in these team fights. We have Bandage Toss, Curse of the Sad Mummy. We have... what is Mordekaiser's ultimate name? It's like To the Grave.
Something interesting to point out in the meantime. Glitterlance has been taken level 1 for the Lulu. She wants to be going for that level 1 wave push. That's why you do that. Most of the time you do see the Lulus take the E since her changes. The E is much stronger, right? But what the Q provides is that AoE wave clear. You manage to get a little bit of poke damage onto that wave level 1, and that's what they want to be doing this whole lane. They want to be shoving that in constantly, and they realize that in the meantime. I do love this adaptation. By the way, on the stream, Squids Words and... yeah, they're swapped. They're swapped. Look at that trading level 1 back and forth. I told
Once again, he hits the 5-stack. That's
guys
twice
love
now.
to just beat on each other.
But it's also, like you're saying, twice now. The level 1, he gets that 5-stack, forces the lane to go his way. But last time, we actually saw this fall apart for him, and he ended up losing that. Ouchiness trying to stand there and win the auto attack trade, but it didn't quite go in his way.
But this is what I was talking about. Oh, this is an all-in. Maybe? Maybe?
He doesn't have Ignite, so he is going to force him out.
What I wanted to mention, though, was the adaptation that they had on Sparks Plugs. They knew that the Ziggs and the Lulu was going to try to shove in that lane. They didn't leash. They told Amumu, start the Raptor camp. You can do the Raptor camp perfectly fine. We won't leash you. We want to be in that lane level 1. And they started shoving it as early as the wave came in. And it managed to be so that they could not really lose because of the advantageous wave clear available to Squids Wards. And so they managed to keep the farm pretty much equalized. They're not going to get punished for it. Oh, he even managed to get the... yeah, he knows how to kind of play Mordekaiser. He managed to get the cannon creep with his W. I don't know, I'm just a little surprised that he actually plays it.
I don't know how this lane is supposed to go, but it doesn't look like it's...
Oh!
What was that?
I told you. Okay, the way the W works is if you have those two together, the two circles, when they converge onto each other, you really, really don't want to be in between them when they pop, because that's going to be a ton of damage in your face. And he fell for it. He managed to... oh my god, that was amazing. He baited with the Mordekaiser. He baited the low HP.
But he's about to go down. It doesn't matter. The fear comes in, the bite comes out, and there goes a kill right back into Squidward's hands. Spark goes down.
Right, with no assist, though, for the Darius. But what I was talking about, he baited that in. He knew he was low HP, but he depended on his passive to give him the necessary tankiness, along with the burst he get from W and Q at the same time. Oh, he's going to get punished for this TP coming back in.
Is he, though? Is he, though? Is he, though?
Oh, Warwick is coming up.
Oh, the flash! So clutch. Storm Raiders plus the flash keeps Horseman alive for now. We see Amumu. He's in the bottom lane. He's sneaking through. There's no ward to see this. Bandage toss doesn't connect. Gets the flash anyway.
This is the kind of aggression and the action I wanted to see from this game. People popping off across the map. Summoners being burned.
And to be fair,
that Double not in this game.
Who would have expected this Mordekaiser damage? Because in all honesty, he's almost never played. This is the second time I've ever seen him played ever. Huge engage in the bot lane. Ouchies loses out on that trade super hard. But really, who expects Mordekaiser? But we see a gank coming in. Corrin's working his way down. Preemptive flash from Ouchies.
This I love. Because even though you might initially say, okay, why are they flashing here? They're not dead. What's going on? And you can definitely criticize them for getting in positions like that.
Corrin's on the run, actually. A stun could be coming in. Does land the stun. Ouchie should go down here. The flash in. Gets the kill. Coder takes it first, though.
Guarantee you, nobody in this game is going to be holding on to summoners. They're going to use every single one. We saw that from the Ziggs already. We saw it from the Bard. The top lane too. Everyone is going to use their summoners. They're going to utilize everything they possibly can. Back to the interaction. You don't want to be in between those circles because not only do they heal Mordekaiser, they will hurt like hell. And in the melee matchup, he's most likely going to be maxing that first. But what the problem is Darius's E is a little counterintuitive. Because when he manages to bring in the Mordekaiser, if he's smart, is going to be marking one of the minions next to him too. And so that means Darius is going to be literally bringing in Mordekaiser's strongest ability into melee range to give him the free trade. That's what's so great about this counter pick. I love it.
It's only going to get worse too because it already looks like we're going to be getting a first item Rylai's. You know, has the amp tone, has the... Yeah, that's fair. I would expect...
Most likely Rylai's, though.
Ooh, speed boost coming in. Oh, level 6 already! Infinite Duress goes in. The pull comes in. He's turning this 1v2.
Oh, no.
There is no level 6 for the Darius, but the fear is enough. Rusty picking up his second kill of the game. Oh, amazing.
He's not level 6. He's not going to win. Oh, my God, the Thunderlord's damage.
You were saying?
I misspoke.
Oh, what is that? No flash in, but Leona's forced to flash out, takes the exhaust, does survive, however.
How much damage was that?
A lot.
From the Amumu?
A lot.
That's, yeah, a lot.
Probably like 250. I'd say like 250.
I would definitely say that was a lot of damage. In fact, maybe tons of damage.
I wouldn't say tons of damage.
It all depends on your definition of ton. If you mean 2,000 pounds of damage, that's a little harder to measure.
He is just a little kid dressed up in bandages.
Is he a little kid? I thought mummies were like hundreds of years old.
Well, a mummy is after death.
Right.
Whereas a little kid would be before death.
Wait, so is he actually... I don't know, I don't read Amumu lore. Is he actually a kid?
He was.
Or is he a squid?
He was an orphan. Little squiddy orphan. Alright, so... I actually don't know what's going on anymore. We see Amumu taking the blue buff for himself, and he doesn't need it, because if you farm with the Incinerate, you get your mana back, and you don't really have to worry about it. And it looks like Raven's Man is just going to continue pushing into Horseman's tower. And I'm curious if Rusty's going to make a return up top, has the Infinite Duress available as well. Horseman now has his ultimate ready too. So it wouldn't be unheard of to see a gank come top.
The best thing is, with that build, you still don't know if it's a Rylai's or Leandri's. Not until you see the Haunting guys or the Rylai's actually come down do you know for sure which item it's supposed to be.
I think at this point you can pretty hard guess because the 850 would have been enough to complete it into the mask, which would have been pretty clutch because that gives you penetration along with, you know, bonus HP. But that's just mental preparation. We see a gank coming in. Bandage toss connects into the Curse of the Sad Mummy, into the stun from the Bard. Amazing picks up one. Lux picks up another one, and just decimating that bottom lane.
I can tell you that is no volley bear. Very well ganked. They managed to get the double kill, don't burn any summoners in return. They're not even level 6 yet on the Bard. He just now got his Tempered Fate.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, this is an all-in.
This is spicy. I think Horseman could still win this. Here comes Rusty. That's going to guarantee it. Infinite Dress still available. Not even going to need it. Just walks up for the auto attack. They do trade for the Ocean Drake, however. So take that as you will. The Squidwards kind of need this First Blood Tower to make that overly worth.
Despite looking at this at face value, what's very interesting is that everything that's being done here is also being traded. These teams definitely are utilizing a lot more communication than the game beforehand. We can see that they realize, all right, there's a 3-man in the bottom lane. They're probably getting the Drake right now. Let's get top side. Let's
Tempered
get this
Fate
kill.
missed. There was a Tempered Fate throw in that mid lane that didn't connect. And Leona's going to take this control ward.
Trades back and forth, minor, however they be. The Bard in the mid lane, push up and try and take a little bit of vision back.
So
I'm actually wondering, I'm curious, is this Lulu maxing her Q first? She is! So they really are sticking to this whole paradigm of constantly wave clearing the bot lane, and, going to be a pause. They're wave clearing the bot lane constantly, and they want the Lulu Q to be maxed first to keep up with that. You make sure that that wave is constantly being cleared. Although we can see it's not exactly working too well considering the huge CS deficit that's happening right now, but that's equalized just as much in the mid lane too. Almost exactly, really. Well, we swap around a couple numbers.
So I don't know what the pause for this is.
It was specifically for the Amumu. Amazing's having a little bit of lag.
But we do get the ready ups, so we will be heading right back into the action. As if nothing was missed, but a stun onto Iris is going to be able to hop away with the demolition charge. And they can just push this lane aggressively because while Iris has the wave clear, excuse me, too much water. While the wave clear is there, there's just enough wave clear coming out of the Lucian Bard that they can't truly get onto this tower, and the Ocean Drake backing up all these aggressive pushes means that Ouchie isn't losing out on too much. Should be able to get the stun. It does land. We do pan away, but Horseman now forced low. No flash available. Infinite Duress is going to seal the deal. Rusty's picking up another kill to his name. That makes 4.
Meanwhile, that is both summoners burned for the Ziggs and that all in, and the Tempered Fate is still available to try and catch him out now. The Hugify was also used by the Lulu, so there's really not going to be much peel besides this exhaust that's still remaining for the bottom lane. But it looks like in return...
Oh, the flash Tibbers stun does connect. Banish Toss doesn't. The flash came out in time. Tibbers is a little slow. Corn's on a ward.
He's going to walk right into this Rift Herald take.
Oh, TP coming in. This is sketchy.
Are we going to see a Rift Herald get stolen for the second time this series?
Amazing wants the kills. Does get the Banish Toss. The Flash Curse of the Sad Mummy.
Ambitious.
He's all by himself. Tempered Fate does land on the Rusty. His stun's going to come in onto Rusty. That is it. Coder Chick picking up a kill.
Flash.
Here comes the stun. Not going to land. Unleashed Power takes the kill. Corrin trades 1 for 1. Rift Herald goes back to sleep. But that should be it. I don't think... They are going to ping the Rift Herald. And with Corrin and Horseman having to go back, that should be a good deal. Culling's available for Lux, so this tower should be relatively safe.
Yeah, they're going to be backing off. Ziggs is completely out of mana. I don't know if he has enough for the Nomicon yet. Nope, still 100 off. Uh-oh, another all-in the top lane.
Didn't have multiple circles, though. Ravens now gets the 5-stack, takes tons of damage. His team doesn't seem to want to help him. The stun doesn't connect, and Rift Herald has to be abandoned.
Because the Rift Herald was there, though, he did guarantee he wouldn't die to the bleed. He got a nice little heal off of it. He might have actually died. Now that I'm looking at it again, he might have just died straight up to the bleed if he had not managed to get that Rift Herald there.
Friendly Rift Herald. What were they calling it on the EU LCS today? Harriet, I believe? Sounds
I still refer to him as Herald, even though I know it's a she. But
Harriet and Herald are the same. They're like the equivalency of H terrible names. So it makes sense. Blue buff
what's
being
wrong with
picked up.
Herald?
What do you mean, what's wrong with Herald?
How's that a terrible name? Herald
Name
sounds like a
one-
nice old man that gives people free stuff. in
Name
garage
one-
sales.
Name one prolific character ever named Herald. Like in the history of media.
Oh, we got a gank in the bottom lane.
Big
nice
stun actually
stun.
going to come in. Wild Growth coming in. Culling's available. This might be a kill. Flash in. Polymorph does come through. Lux picks up the one kill. Infinite Duress lands on two ouchies. But Leona is just tanking so much damage. Lux picks up the double kill. Will be going down. Tempered Fate keeps Corrin out of the fray. But stunned is in. Rusty can keep going. Horseman's just eating so much damage even with that Hex Drinker first item.
Trading back and forth. That TP was stopped by the Mordekaiser. There was a TP initially being
stun into death. Corrin goes down. Unleashed power still in his back pocket. Raven, I don't think you want a tower dive, but maybe I'm not you. Does tank tower damage. There's the axe to the dome. Horseman picks up the solo kill.
And we can see Darius is doing everything correctly. One of the problems with this specific Mordekaiser pick is that he picked it with an AP jungler and mid laner, and also a magic damage support as well. That's not going to be as much of a problem, but it's something to consider. With all this magic damage, it's very easy for Darius to decide to build what he built. He built Murktread's first item, gives him mobility, he doesn't have to stay in those circles, built the Hex Drinker, then the Spectre's Cow going to be finishing Visage. That's a ton of magic resist that Mordekaiser is going to have to go through, and it's starting to look like maybe that Leandri's would have been a better buy, because with all this magic resist he has to tear through first. It's going to be very hard to break through it initially.
It's also going to be really hard for Lucian to do anything due to his short range. We see a gank into the bottom lane. Polymorph comes in. Wang is just kind of going for it. Does get the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and boom, that is a lot of damage. Killing spree coming out for Amazing. Does pick up the kill. Ouchie's still going for it, but he's kind of all by himself. Gets polymorphed. And I want to go back to the Herald port. Chat's kind of right. So we got Herald is the dad from Iron Fist, which he was a terrible father. No, there was no good father figure in that movie. I am sorry. But then Harold and Kumar is probably the closest you're going to get to a prolific character named Harold. Although we started the first movie off pretty lame.
Are you dissing Harold and Kumar right now?
No. I am saying that the character Harold started the movie as a wet blanket.
Do we need to shut off the stream?
Wet
You wanna go on?
blanket, Lovedee.
You want to take
Wet
this in
blanket.
the trash talk thread? Oh,
Doesn't
boy,
matter.
we're being caught
Wing
out.
Wang is
Tempered
getting
Fate.
engaged upon. Tempered Fate. How does that not land on to Warwick? That's a little questionable.
Can't be disabled.
Questionable to say the least. Amazing's trying to get one, but he can't. And it's a shutdown coming in. That's a 3 for 0. What just happened?
Clown just happened. Oh, but in the meantime, Mordekaiser's going for that push in the bottom lane with the Drake. Manages to go down right as he hits the tower.
Now he's on the run. Iris could chase him down. Gets the knockback in. Lands the bouncing bomb. There's so much damage. Minefield isn't going to connect. Lost
Oh, boy.
vision of him, though. Just barely getting that tower. Or, not tower. Getting that ward. Rift Herald dies. Lucian's
we
all
can
by
see the
himself in the
pushes
top lane.
Still being
Infinite Duress
done.
is available.
Oh boy. They're going to be going for it. Almost definitely. Yep, there they are.
Yeah, Warwick
They're
had
starting
the
it.
move speed increase. Infinite Duress does connect outside of tower range too. Apprehend is enough. That's a kill. Rusty on a killing spree. Once again, 7, 2, and 0.
I
Monster.
gotta say, amidst all of this clown fiesting that's been going on, Rusty has been fantastic with his movements and rotations throughout this game. He's managed to really heavily punish the aggression that Mordekaiser's had. Now he manages to be in the perfect spot to go for a dive. Lucian trying to solo farm on his own. Uh-oh. Looks like bottom lane's in a little bit of trouble. Syndra's roaming down right now. Is there a blast going there?
Super Mega Inferno Bomb is available. Didn't decide to go for it. Syndra's doing what she can.
Looks like they're just going to rotate down, try to take this bottom tower as quickly as possible.
This would be the final outer turret and allow them to start making rotations to start picking up those tier 2 towers and maybe even from there go for the base. Wow, what is this Bard Q? It's so
He's just
mind-numbingly...
really good at throwing those Qs, man.
You can be the best Bard player in the world, read Aphromoo, and your Q still will not make sense. It warps time and space.
Somebody hasn't passed their quantum physics class. Cosmic bindings, man, you just gotta trigonometry and then do the geometry and then calculate a few lines and all of a sudden you've stunned 2 people.
That's Vel'Koz, sir.
Oh, we got a TP in the bottom lane. 4 people coming right now.
TP
Lucian's
coming
in,
in deep. Lux is for sure
boy.
dead. Glitterlance doesn't connect. TP coming in from the Mordekaiser. Lux eats a full Unleash the Power. Tempered Fate not going to connect onto anybody. Raven, what are you doing? You cannot fly like the crow! Rusty, though, gets stunned up, eats the Wild Growth, and now Spark Plugs are on the run.
And we're starting to see a little bit more punish coming in. Rod of Ages for the mid lane Annie, and then the Essence Reaver build for the Lucian once again. They don't have the time to keep scaling up, especially with the way that collapse was. Very nice movement, very calculated. They knew what they wanted to do. They had the deep wards placed.
Rusty has the Infinite Dress available. Leona in the bottom lane pushing it aggressively. Ooh, Amazing's caught kind of a little bit. Ouchies, though, might be in a bit of trouble. See, like, that should have stunned him, but it didn't.
Well, right now he's just trying to delay them, but they know that they're going to get pushed in multiple lanes. Annie is not going to be able to make it to the mid lane in time.
See, like, that should not have stunned, but it doesn't matter. Ouchies is dead. Infinite Dress still available. Mid priority turns out it's pretty useful, and Squids wards are taking full advantage of it. Huge Curse of the Sad Mummy gets 1, gets 2. 2 men go down. Lux is on the chase, but Warwick's able to run out, and the bottom lane forced to run as well, and they keep the tower alive.
The 2 do wind up going down. The rest of the team is going to be backing away.
Oh, what are you doing? Amazing! Why are you there?
He's trying to keep him there. Still got the flash. He wants to go in. He wants to flash bounty sauce. Oh, he's going for it.
Oh, it connects onto Rusty. Wild Growth comes in. Super Mega Inferno Bomb lands on 2. The heal barely keeps Mordekaiser alive. Rusty is surviving by the skin of his chinny chin chin. Finally gets shut down. Mordekaiser picks up his 2nd kill of the game.
That aggression, my goodness. Whenever you see either team approaching and you think in your head, I wonder if they're going to go in, the answer is yes. They're always going to be going in.
There is no reason to not go in, right? Oh, what is that damage?
Goodbye.
That's typical Syndra for you.
Bet you if he had a Black Cleaver, he would have lived. I mean, yeah, that's just a very nice outplay by the Syndra.
Just throwing shade at both of them in the same sentence. Because yes, the Black
should have just dodged all that unlimited potential.
Potential all over his face is what just happened. But no, a Black Cleaver definitely would have kept him alive there. It just stopped building Essence Reaver.
Oh
Huge.
My god, he's stuck on his ghost.
He got stuck on his ghost, which means Raven's in a bit of trouble.
Mordekaiser bugs.
Super Mega Inferno Bomb not gonna pick up the kill, but now Amazing's knocked back into the team. Doesn't get the stun, gets a 4-man Curse of the Sad Mummy. Tempered Fate lands on the 2. Leona is in danger of dying here. Heal comes in, keeps her alive, and now the Infinite Duress continues the battle. Ouchie's on the run, tunnels back one way, but gets knocked back into the team. Huge Timbers keeps him alive. Iris finally gets to kill, but now Horseman is gonna go down in the 1v1 to Lux. And what is happening? The Earth Drake is being started up. It is an Earth. I think I said that twice, but my brain is just, it's not working anymore.
Honestly, after they get this Drake, I think Squid's words are going to be trying to mount an attempt on the Baron.
I heard the gears turning. I'm like, he's making a mountain joke. I know he's making a mountain joke. And then he just goes, yes.
I knew that somebody got in a lot of, not a lot of heat, but they were made fun of for saying Earth instead of Mountain Drake yesterday. Forgot exactly who it was. I don't know, people get really particular when it's names for stuff like that for whatever reason.
Unless it's Cloud Drake. If it's Cloud Drake, nobody cares about you.
Oh yeah, the Wind Drake, the Air Drake, right.
No, because EU casters, I was watching LCS yesterday, and every single EU caster calls it the Clown Drake. Every single time.
Well, I mean, when you only have one Cloud Drake, you may as well have nothing at all anyway. The result is just so unnoticeable.
Ooh, stun not gonna connect onto ouchies, but the infinite power, kinda hard to miss. Unleashed power, kinda hard to miss. It seems like it's infinite power sometimes. And now, Rusty goes in, misses the infinite to rest, gets stunned up into the wall. They're on the run, Culling coming out, Wild Growth comes in, there goes the scatter, the weak stun, connects. Tibbers gets thrown back just like a dirty towel. Now Corn's actually caught out. Why does that bandage toss not connect? It looked like it should have. Scatter of the week not gonna connect. Ravens man now kind of caught out. Protovelt's away. That's something I missed he had. But stun goes back in. Polymorph can't get the curse of the sad mummy. There it is. He's so far away from his team though. What are you doing, Amazing? Ravens man gets grabbed back in. Fifth comes in. There goes the Super Mega Inferno Bomb. There is not enough health on Spark Plugs. Apprehend comes in. Fifth damage goes down. Axe comes down. Double kill over to Horseman. He's continuing in the fight. Corn flashes into the tunnel. Unleashed Power's back already. Triple kill for Horseman.
Half a minute ago.
Somehow Horseman gets that kill, not Corrin, but he'll take it for a triple kill. This inhibitor's going to go down. Timers are not in Sparkplug's favor, but they should back off after this. Amazing is alive. They need to actually kill the inhibitor, please.
So after a one-team fight, very dominantly, mind you, they do manage to get the mid inhibitor. They now have control over whatever side of the jungle they want. They're going to be pushing up the top lane now. Bottom lane, let's take a peek right there, is pushing in the favor of Sparks Plugs. Very nice buildup of a wave, going to be pushing very hard soon enough, so I expect somebody to be catching that wave. Then,
and
maybe
we can see Sparkplugs walking through this top half here, trying to get some vision on the Baron, trying to make sure they're not doing it, but they just walked over so many wards. They walked over like 4 wards. They finally find the control ward. But things are dangerous because there's 2 Banshee's Veil now onto the AP carries of Squidwards. And that's going to be difficult because you can't Tempered Fate them. You can't Bandage Toss them. You can't Curse of the Sad Mummy them from afar.
I want to tell you right now, unless somebody catches that bot wave, oh, they noticed. Alright, they're sending the Darius for it. Good. He's got the teleport available as well. He is going to be able to stop this wave from pushing in any farther and start a wave of his own. All they have to do is just delay. Really.
Ooh,
okay, well they can kill him.
You can't really delay that. Unleashed Power coming out once again. Corrin showing those mean button pressing skills. Tibbers goes down. Stun comes in. Rusty's still alive. Gets the Wild Growth living forever. Super Mega Inferno Bomb lands onto all 4 members. Rusty finally goes down. Tibbers gets thrown back into the team, but Corrin gets stunned up. The Scout of the Week doesn't connect. Corrin is going to go down eventually. There it is. Shut down for ouchies. But Darius is on the Nexus. Darius is on the Nexus towers. They need to stop the backs. He gets 1 tower. Iris is stopping these backs as best he can. Lux is saying not healthy. The second Nexus tower goes down. Horseman's on the Nexus. Amazing can't get to him. Raven's trying to get in there. Flash from Amazing, trying to do everything he can. Horseman gets the heal. He gets Children of the Grave. Hextrigger pops. He gets the heal. He's winning this damage fight. Now it's a 1v2.5. He gets the axe down. Gets the kill. Amazing is the only man standing between him and Lossing. losing. Amazing gets the
Oh,
axe.
no.
That's a double kill. That is going to be very quickly. Oh, what is happening? The axe comes in. It's not enough to kill Ouchies. And Sparkplugs finally made it back to the base. What?
That's an open Nexus now. They're taking the top inhibitor tower as well. Holy cow. They
So,
actually had to run all the way back. The recalls kept getting stopped. They had to run all the way from Baron back to their base. I don't even know what Mordekaiser's building. Is he building a Triforce? Why is he building a Triforce?
yeah, I was going to say, Phage only builds into Black Cleaver and Trinity Force.
Why? Why did you decide you're 2 and 10, dude? Why did you decide to build a Triforce?
You're 2 and 10. Let's build the most expensive item in the game.
That's not even that great on Mordekaiser anymore. Oh no! Here I thought he knew what he was doing on Mord.
So Doom and Gloom, toil and trouble. Things are getting hairy for Sparkplugs. And Infernal Drake is going over to Squids Wards, who is already winning in the damage department. So now the Baron dance is on. Will Sparkplugs find the fight they need, or will Squidwards crash down on that Nexus? Find out next week on Ascension Esports Elder League.
Wait, what?
Just cut the stream right there. Just end it.
Just pan to the side. Play ending music, weep music.
What? Do the Cowboy Bebop to be
Yeah.
continued?
Or no, not to be continued. That's JoJo.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't actually watched either of those, so I was just
That's
guessing.
JoJo. You got
Woo!
your memes mixed up, but it's alright.
Alright, so Baron Vision is wholly in the side of Squidwards right now, and while Sparkplugs are very close by, things could get hairy pretty quickly. And it looks like they're gonna go
Oh,
right
it's an
now.
engage.
Lux is getting the worse for wear. Super Mega on the front of bomb, not gonna land onto him, but the engage is in. Rusty's on the back line, gets a two-man fear. Chains of War in the background. Amazing's doing everything he can, but it isn't enough. He goes down, the axe comes down twice. Triple kill for the Darius. That is an ace for Squidwards, and that is the game, set, and match. Squidwards are gonna take game 3 and be your Week 4 Elder League victors.
Alright. They're just going to be finishing up the game now. They managed to get the engage they wanted. Tempered Fate was not enough to stop enough people. They originally thought they had the engage, but these Banshee's Veils turned out to be way too effective. Both Syndra and Ziggs were not caught out from the initial engage. They just get chased down, and they get destroyed. And it turns out the Mordekaiser is not numero uno.
No, not even really numero anything. Ended 2 and 11, just got camped into oblivion, and we can take off that last kind of build path because up until then, when it actually mattered, he was building correctly, and it looked like it was going to end up working out fairly well for him, and he had a couple strong plays in the early game. But when it came to team fights, that Darius did so much work.
Yeah, and in the end, they wind up winning with a slightly more traditional composition. Syndra managed to put in a lot of work as well, a lot of playmaking ability, definitely the burst, catching out people, ulting them, hitting them with the outplay button, just really strong.
I mean, yeah,
The
look at
bottom lane matchup didn't work out exactly like I thought it would. I definitely expected them to have a better advantage in that lane, but we could see that the Lucian Bard combo was just as strong this game as it was last game. They just couldn't get rolling nearly as much against the rest of the team.
And once again, we see the extremely questionable crit Lucian coming out. While he did do the most damage on his team, you could see that once Warwick and Darius started building tank stats, there simply wasn't anything that Lucian could do time and time again. They just straight up walked in and killed him. And, you know, looking across the rift, we have Darius at 26k. We have Syndra at 27k damage. You know, their team was online and putting in damage, and nobody could really stand up to that.
Yeah. In the end, though, we got an entertaining series out of it. A lot of picks we weren't expecting, and definitely a lot of fun overall.
Yeah, definitely an insane series to cast. I'm definitely not going to be able to talk tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting because I personally will not be here for Phoenix League, unfortunately. But hopefully, whoever Loveday gets to cast with will be just as entertaining. But we'll have to wait and see. But I think that's all we got for you guys tonight. I know this was a long best of 3 series, kind of almost 3 hours long. But thank you everybody for who tuned in. This was Ascension Esports Elder League. So once again, thank you everybody for watching. I'm Doctor, being joined as always by Loveday.
Have a good night, everyone.
And we will catch you next time. If you want to be involved, hit up Ascension Esports on Twitter, Reddit, and Discord. We have the 3 League of Legends leagues. We will also be starting a PUBG league, so keep your eyes out for that. But for the 3rd time now, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
We clear.